Ed Dot Sports is on the air. Each week, the Long Beach Unified School District is proud to present the best and exciting high school football and girls volleyball action right here on Ed Dot TV. Hi, everybody. My name is Willie Padilla. I'm joined, as usual, by my colleague, Errol Parker. We've got a good one for you tonight as the Millikan Rams invade Jordan High School to face the Panthers on their homecoming evening. At stake is a shot at first place in the Moore League. I know it's early in the Moore League race, but still, if you want to stay in first place, you got to start out with a win here tonight against one of your opponents.
That's right, Willie. This is a very critical game for both teams. And for Jordan Panthers, if they can win tonight, they could do lock really a playoff spot because they probably will beat Compton. But for the visiting Millikan Rams, this has been a surprising season for them. They won 3 out of 5 in their preseason and then won their Moore League opener. Jason Leggett and Adam Sontag has really led them at both ends of the football. This is a pretty good Millikan team that has surprised a lot of people.
In fact, both teams' records have surprised folks. When you've got the Millikan Rams, they are 4-2 coming into this game, 1-0 in Moore League play, and the Jordan Panthers are 5-1 overall and 1-0 in Moore League play.
Yes, the Jordan Panthers are the big surprise of the Moore League. They are, as you say, their record is 6-0, and they have lost only to Esperanza. They have overall expert team speed, but they don't have a whole lot of respect in the area. With the newspapers, with television, they have been mouthing off about the fact that they don't get a lot of respect, and it's probably some of it's true. I even picked Jordan to come in 4th place this year, and I wish that Ray Sharp would stop showing that on television, but they handled the Wilson Bruins, who I thought would come in 3rd place. This is a very, very good Jordan team. They have a very, very good defense, and Webb, their fine free safety, is the person to watch.
I think the key to this game is going to be team speed, and Jordan's got a whole lot of that. We'll get set. The opening kickoff's coming up in just a moment. My name's Willie Padilla, along with me, Errol Parker, and the rest of our Ed Dot Sports team. Stay with us. Football is coming up next. Run. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our Ed Dot Sports Game of the Week. My name's Willie Padilla, along with me, Errol Parker, and the rest of our Ed Dot Sports team. We come to you from the campus of David Starr Jordan High School on the north side of Long Beach as the Jordan Panthers get set to play host to the Millikan Rams. The Jordan Panthers enter the game with an overall record of 5-1. In league, they are 1-0. The Millikan Rams, 1-0 in league also. They are 4-2 overall. The loss for Jordan against a very, very good Esperanza Aztec team. And let's put it this way, a lot of folks have lost to them.
They're a sound football team, and it's no loss of respect. But if you want to be in prime time, it goes through teams like Esperanza, as we look at both coaches, Tony Peralta and Willie Guillory. Guillory is in his 3rd year, and he's getting a measure of respect. They were bumped out of the playoffs because of an ineligible player last year, but they've gotten off to a grand style this year.
Indeed, Willie Guillory's program has continued to improve in each of the seasons that he's been here. In fact, it seems that there's that constant shuffling outside of the #1 team, Pauley, which year after year is the perennial team to beat. But there seems to have been a changing of the guard, so to speak. A few years back, when Greg Gibson was the head coach over at Wilson High School, everyone was talking about the great future that Wilson had. They had 3 sophomores that had rushed for 1,000 yards, and the future looked bright. But then Gibson was moved out at Wilson. He was moved over here to Jordan to assist Willie Gill. The day of the gladiators and so forth, they used to send in the clowns before the actual festivities and the actual manly events, and it was just kind of interesting that was a little bit of peacemaking before the carnage, so to speak. Top 10 in the Press Telegram, and the Press Telegram, our good friends in their sports writing section, have come up with this configuration, and that is going to change, I would imagine, with the Los Alamitos dropping one yesterday to Edison High School. Long Beach Poly still on top, 6-0, and looking to go 7-0 rather easily tonight against the Wilson Bruins. La Mirada out of the Suburban League is 3rd. Downey undefeated out of the San Gabriel Valley League, along with Warren, who's also out of the San Gabriel Valley League. They're 5-1. The Panthers 5-1, number 6, with a win tonight would maybe not improve a whole lot on that particular ranking because, as you can see, Millikan is not a highly thought of opponent since they are not even in the top 10. Carson, San Pedro, Valley Christian, and Dominguez round out the top 10. It's not as if Jordan should upset Pauley, boy, would they move up.
Yes, and I think that the Millikan Rams, even though they have a 4-2 record, some people believe that their wins were against opponents that are not getting a lot of respect in the area. But tonight they play an opponent that has a better record, that has had a pretty good season, that has overall team speed, and how they fare against the Jordan Panthers tonight will say a lot about the kind of respect that the Millikan Rams want for their football program.
You could call this the Aretha Franklin Bowl. The two teams looking for some RESPCT, a little respect.
And there's the Moore League standings right there, Willie. 3 teams, of course, after week 1 in first place, Poly, Jordan, and Millikan, and then the 3 other teams that having not won a game, Lakewood, Wilson, and Compton, are bringing up the rear.
Okay, stand by 2.
Lakewood, in fact, this evening is taking on Compton, so they should get well after their 47-0 Moore League opening loss to the Poly Jackrabbits. The Jackrabbits are hosting the Wilson Bruins at Veterans Stadium. While we're here at Jordan for the matchup between the Rams and the Panthers, both teams 1-0 in Moore League play. That makes this one a battle for first place. The winner of this game can stay toe-to-toe with the Poly Jackrabbits, who not only are the #1 ranked team according to the Press Telegram locally, but they are the #1 team in the CI Southern section, and very close to the top nationally, according to the USA Today.
#2 in the state and #4 in the nation, and they looked like it last week. Now we're watching the Panthers and the Rams exchange pleasantries before the coin toss, and both of these teams in their own right have their strengths. And I would say the biggest surprise for the Rams, Willie, has been the play of Adam Sontag. Not only has he been a fine punter, place kicker, and point after touchdown kicker, but he's also been a fine receiver. And I happened to run into his mother at the grocery store. She works at a local grocery store, and she noticed me there, and she came to me and talked about her son, and I told him, she thanked me for saying nice things about him, and she's, of course, very proud of him, and he's had an outstanding season thus far.
The Jordan Panthers will receive, and they will defend the northern goal and move to the south. So we're just about ready for play. Millikan will kick off, and of course, that'll give us an opportunity to see Adam Sontag to begin things. He is quite a weapon, not only in terms of field goal kicking, extra points, but also on kickoffs. He can pin a team very deep. We saw him kick several out of the end zone for touchbacks, but then also kicked a couple strategically right on the goal line. This is going to be the Jordan starting lineup. Their quarterback is Cameron Smith. Wide receivers are Howard Terrell and Manuel Martinez. Fullback Grant McCrary, and halfback James Wilson, and halfback Jerron McCoy. So that kind of gives you the kind of offense they run when they've got 3 backs in the backfield. They're running that wing T offense.
Yeah, they really call it the veer offense. I was talking to Coach Willie Guillory about that, and he says that he really doesn't have a tight end. He just has 1 wide receiver, and he has 1 person in the backfield and a couple of wings.
We did not get the offensive linemen there, too, as we got to give them their props and make sure. The Panthers will receive their offense, and these are the guys that do all the dirty work. Lance Horton at left tackle, right tackle Dwight Jones. 1 guard is Jonathan Molina. Opatea Sula is the other guard, and Tola Chin the center.
They have a fine offensive line, Willie, and I was talking to Coach Willie Guillory about that. He is particularly high on Dwight Jones and Lance Horton, who has just moved from defensive line to offensive line.
Alex, ask that question again. What?
He says they're a very mobile unit, and they get to the point of attack very, very quickly.
Just say if we behind, let it hit the ground. Don't have it hanging.
Coach Willie Guillory, you will see, will not have headsets on, Willie, as we look at the Millikan Rams. Go right ahead.
All right, the defense will be Kevin Aseri, Lance Mixon, Julian Diaz, Roland Courtney, Chuck Symes, Brian Ulola, John Flynn, Seward Kim, Diego Algarin, Dante Vaughn, and Doug Stewart.
Now,
Doug Stewart, a very familiar name.
Dante Vaughn was the quarterback. He was a backup quarterback, but they have moved him to halfback. We'll talk about that later.
This is Adam Sontag. You know, number 9, thin as a rail, may not look like that big a weapon, but he's huge. Watch what he does to a football to open this ball game. As we're just about underway, back to receive is James Wilson, and he's in the end zone, so it's a touchback.
He has not kicked anything but that, Willie, all season. He has not given the opposition the opportunity to return his kickoffs, and that is quite a weapon as well. He tried a 59-yard field goal last week against Compton, and it went wide, a little bit wide left.
That's good. Beauty. Ready to?
Well, Sontag has done his job to begin the action as we're underway. The start of this Moore League battle for first place. 2 1-0 teams playing head-to-head as quarterback Cameron Smith running the veer. And he goes up the middle. I believe that's McCray.
Yeah, I had it. Okay, ready to go for it.
And it is Grant McCray who starts things. A short pickup of about 4 yards. Not bad, though. That's a good way to start things.
You see, this misdirection really fools everybody. They had about 2 tacklers on the quarterback. Now, the quarterback will take a beating in this type of offense, Willie, but that's the price you pay for the misdirection and the deception of this type of offense.
They'll go left side. Smith pitches to McCray, but he's hit in the backfield, and that'll be for a loss of a couple yards. Good play by the Millikan defense. A loss of 2.
The Millikan defense will have their hands full with this team speed as we see the pitch man, and this is something that Tony Peralta talked to me about earlier today. He said they must stop the pitch man, they must stop the fullback blast, because this is assignment football, and if they get past the line of scrimmage, they could go a long way.
Credit Brian Olola with the big play on defense there. 3rd down and 7, or make it 6. Could be a double pass. Pass is complete. It will be shy of a 1st down as it was completed to Jaron McCoy, but McCoy picks up 5. He needed 6.
Got a flag coming up.
There is a flag down.
It's holding it against the offense as the preliminary indication. As we see, the Jordan Panthers don't throw that much, but this time they threw for yardage, but it'll be called back.
Seward Kim with the tackle.
They know who the penalty's on. Call the number. I'll get the guy.
It is a holding call against Jordan. It will be declined, forcing 4th down. 4th down and a couple yards. The completion, good for 5 yards. So the punting team will come on. Well, the Millikan Rams perform well defensively as they stop the Panthers on their first series. The key play was that loss for a couple yards on the second play from scrimmage on the run by McCray.
So they handled the Veer offense very well, despite their poor tackling all season, according to the coaching staff. They get off to a good defensive start.
The kick is blocked. The Rams have it, and they'll have it inside the 15-yard line. Dante Vaughn with the block.
He just grabbed it out of the air, didn't he?
Vaughn.
That had no chance. And it came from the right side. It was a jailbreak type of offense. They came after the punter, and they got the punter. This is the first big break of the ball game.
The guy who got it, that happened too fast for me.
I believe Brian Olola came up with it, but I can't be sure about that. 1st down and 10 for the Rams. They've got it at the 14-yard line. The give, still on his feet, was Eric Wright, and then Wright goes down after a short pickup.
As you know, Willie, Paul Ear, the fine 4-year starter for the Millikan Rams, blew his knee out in the first game, and they've had to play shuttle all of the rest of the season, or thus far in the season. But Leggett has come through pretty good last week, and so they are trying a couple of guys out at that running back position.
Running back by committee, and Eric Wright right now has the job. Alberto Martinez, the quarterback.
There we go. Ready, 1, take 1.
In motion goes Vaughn. The give goes up the middle to Wright. He's got a hole. He's in. Touchdown. Second play from scrimmage. And Eric Wright goes 14 yards for the score.
Beautiful blocking in the offensive line. As I have said for many years, he went in unmolested. No one touched him. And now the Rams take advantage of the defensive miscue by the Panthers, and they score and draw first blood in this ball game.
14-yard run by Eric Wright, and it was all on that misdirection by the quarterback Martinez. Looked like he was going to go to Vaughn. Instead, he went to Wright, and Wright took it through a huge hole for the 14-yard score. Kick is up, flag is down. The kick is up, and it is good. However, there is a flag down.
That's the extra point.
See if we can see it here.
Flag on the play.
It's going to be either an encroachment, because the flag came down from the line judge. It is illegal procedure against the Rams, so the Rams will kick it all over again. But distance should not be a problem for Adam Sontag. Sontag now to attempt what amounts to a 25-yard extra point, but still only worth one, and it's blocked.
It was
As
blocked.
breaking over the right side, and I'm trying to get the number, was that 99? It was
By number
99.
99.
Greg Webb.
Greg
Well, I
Webb.
mentioned Greg Webb at the start of the program. He's been all over the field.
The guy that blocked
99.
It looked like 99, Greg Webb. Greg Webb has been an outstanding free safety all year. And he comes in here on the punt block team, as it were, and comes up with a block. They had 3 Panthers on their right side of their defensive line, and they all came in. It seemed like all of them gave a piece, got a piece of that.
Well, surprise, surprise, the Rams break out on top 6-0 over the Jordan Panthers. Despite both teams 1-0 records, I would have to have ventured to guess that the Panthers were a sizable favorite in this ball game.
Yeah, I would think the Panthers are a sizable favorite, but the Rams have jumped out in the lead. Now, special teams is so important. A lot of times coaches don't want to emphasize it because it's not real sexy and everything like that, but special teams and field position win ball games.
Well, both teams have had a special teams faux pas, as the Rams have their point after attempt blocked. Following the touchdown run after Jordan's punt was blocked on their side. Sontag drills this one, and it'll also be a touchback. Not going to let the Panthers use that advantage of team speed they have over the Rams.
That mitigates the team speed when you can kick it in the end zone, Willie. And now the Jordan Panthers will get their second try after going 3 and out in their first try and then getting their punt block, which led to the first touchdown.
And you know, I think it was also a huge effort by the Panthers to block that point after attempt, because that is going to wear a little bit, I think, in the mind of Adam Sontag the next time he lines up to kick one, whether it's an extra point or a field goal attempt. Smith pitches it back into the hands of, who was that? Number 2, James Wilson.
Forced out of bounds. By number 5, Doug Stewart.
That was Wilson.
It's another pitch play, and there was a missed tackle over there in the flat, and he gets about 7 more yards.
Well, he got 11 on the play on his first run of the evening. That's good enough for a first down. So the Chains move after the first play on this drive.
Kenny, watch your focus, babe.
Football at the 31.
I'm trying to read Kenny's
Holding on to the football, no. It was given to McCray, and McCray got met at the line of scrimmage and actually lost a yard.
Julian
Or
Diaz
2.
came up with the tackle, and he's their fine defensive tackle.
Julian Diaz is another of Ray Sharp's former students.
Julian played last year and was one of the leading tacklers on the Rams. He got good penetration on that.
Stand by 3, dissolve 3.
McCray has been knocked for a loss on his last 2 running attempts, very similar to the series of plays that occurred on the opening drive for the Panthers, when McCray was hit for a loss on the second play, and eventually the Panthers were forced to punt, and that punt was blocked. Screen pass being set up to McCray, and he drops it.
Okay, let's see it on 3. Okay, Kelly, give me the one.
Well, he had pretty nice blocking up front. If he had hung onto that football, he may have gotten positive yardage. And he's walking back with his head hung, and knowing that that was a good opportunity to possibly get a first down.
Well, if we can roll that back a little bit, you'll see exactly what happened.
All the way, all the way.
If we can run it quickly,
Okay, roll it.
merely wanted to see, watch the catch attempt by McCray. He looks upfield. Watch here, watch him turn his head right there before he's got the ball in his hands. Back to live action. Dante Vaughn steps in front of the intended receiver, knocks the pass away, and 4th down coming up, the pass intended for Malcolm Thompson.
He was looking before.
Dante Vaughn with his second big play of the evening.
Dante Vaughn playing both ways tonight. He's playing some at running back, and he's playing at corner, and he came up with a superlative defensive play that time.
I don't like to leave it up the whole time.
Dante Vaughn lost his quarterback starting position near the end of the summer. Martinez took it from him, but Dante was playing backup quarterback. Now he is playing both defensive free safety and backup running back.
Jordan calls a timeout, and let's see. It's because they didn't have enough men on the field. They were short a player, and they knew that if they had their previous kick blocked, they were going to have this one blocked if they didn't have enough guys on the line to block the Rams. So they call a timeout, and they'll reset now with the appropriate number of players. That was actually a smart move by the Panthers in the face of a big mistake.
Especially in light of the fact that both teams have made mistakes on special teams. They need to get it right. That led to the first touchdown for the Rams. So it was smart for Willie Guillory to call a timeout, even though he's probably frustrated at the fact that he had to use one for that purpose, but it was a wise choice.
Musa Mabuk to punt. Jason Leggett back to receive.
Okay, that's fine.
The previous punt attempt by Mabuk was blocked by Dante Vaughn.
That's it, baby, right there.
And the Rams recovered and eventually turned that into a touchdown. The Rams, everybody but Leggett, coming after him. Heavy rush, barely gets off a line drive kick that goes out of bounds well before midfield. And so at the 45-yard line, that is where the Rams will begin, at the 45-yard line of Jordan.
Well, he didn't do a good enough acting job. You need to get an Academy Award when you get bumped as a punter to see if you can plead your case to the referee. That time, he just kind of jerked his shoulder, but he could have really acted a little bit better and may have gotten a penalty.
If he had laid out a bit, maybe he would have gotten a call. Maybe not roughing the kicker, but running into the kicker might have been the call. Misdirection, and down after no gain. Was that Vaughn? Yes, Dante Vaughn carried it and was stopped at the line of scrimmage.
For no gain, 2nd and 10.
Watch here, the misdirection. It goes to Vaughn on the inside. Vaughn comes back, but when your offense runs that kind of play and you play defense against it all the time, it's a lot easier to diagnose.
And speaking of that, Willie, I was talking to Coach Tony Peralta, and he said you just can't practice against team speed that you're going to face in your own practice. And this Jordan Panther defense and offense is very speedy. So they'll have to get used to it in live action.
Eric Wright tripped up as he crosses the line of scrimmage, a pickup of 1.
Eric Portley coming up at his free safety position, or excuse me, his linebacking position, making that tackle.
Off the camera. What? Quarterback definitely throws off good fakes. He's throwing us off on the camera. Okay, ready to take
So 3rd down and 9 coming up.
Willie, our cameraman's reporting that the quarterback is faking so well he's faking us out.
Now Martinez, we have not seen him pass yet. Drops straight back. A screen is set up. Vaughn has it. He's got a huge hole. He's got a 1st down and a whole lot more. He's gone. Dante Vaughn, touchdown. 44 yards.
Well, it was a nicely executed screen. He should have been tackled though, but his speed right up the gut. Free safety had a bad angle, and he was untouched except for maybe about the 1-yard line. So the Millikan Rams have struck quickly here in the 1st quarter with only 7:21 to play. And there's a quick inside screen.
Comes just 2 minutes and 28 seconds after the previous score. So the Rams are putting them up and putting them up quickly. The Rams may be going for 2. We'll have to wait and see how they play it. It is the shotgun. Martinez will throw to the corner of the end zone. It's good, but there is a flag down.
Okay, we can't show you replay, guys.
There's a flag down.
There's Peralta. Good job, Rich.
Look, Tony Peralta's got to be pleased thus far, but it's still very, very, very early.
Okay, ready? Ready 2, take 2. Ready 1? Take 1. Good job, Kenny.
Let's see the call from Russ Johnson, our referee tonight.
I think he was over the line of scrimmage.
That's pass interference against, basically they're saying he threw a pick, and they're saying it's a loss of down penalty on the point after. So offensive pass interference, a loss of down penalty, so the point after no good. So it's 12-0 in favor of the Rams.
Okay, let's roll the spot.
We'll take a break. Back with more in a moment. Hi, folks. Welcome back to our Red Dot Sports Game of the Week. Principal for a Day. That is a great, great opportunity for some parents to learn not only the demanding position of principal, but also to get a better understanding of what challenges the schools face in our communities and in educating our children.
I will be principal today up here in North Long Beach at Lindbergh Middle School. The last time I was in the principal's office, I got rapped on my knuckles for doing something bad. So I'll feel a little nervous when I go over there.
3 kickoffs, 3 touchbacks for Adam Sontag. That's not a stat, but it should be. The Sontag has certainly been very effective.
Once again, Jordan will start the drive.
Well, the Rams have benefited from 2 series where they've had good field position, and they've taken advantage of it both times. And right now they're up 12-0, which is a big shock thus far early in this football game.
Well, the key aspects of the game have been special teams and defense. The Millikan defense has played extremely well. Fumble, turnover, Rams have it, Dante Vaughn. Dante Vaughn with his 3rd huge play of the game. He's recovered a fumble, blocked a punt, and scored on a 44-yard screen pass. What a huge game for Dante Vaughn.
Coach Willie Guillory just cannot believe it. Practically, when he received the pitch, Willie, he was almost tackled, and that distracted him, and it was a good wrap tackle and strip of the ball by Dante Vaughn. As we look at it, fake blast. Cameron pitches the ball, but they were waiting on it. And before, practically when he got the ball, the Millikan Rams were there.
And getting credit should also be Jason Leggett, who forced the fumble on that pitch. Leggett got there early, and now the Rams, again with great field position, their drives, they begin this drive at the 20-yard line, called the 21.
Well, Willie Guillory has called a timeout, Willie, to talk to his troops to kind of calm them down. I mean, he really has to calm them down. This is the 3rd straight time that the Rams have gotten excellent field position on a fumble or a miscue or something or of another, and now they are knocking on the door for the 3rd time.
In fact, the Rams' average field position at the start of a drive has been the 27-yard line of Jordan.
Any good football team, even an average football team, should be able to capitalize with such good field position. Perhaps the Jordan Panthers came in a little overconfident against these Millikan Rams. They have been criticized, the Rams have, for supposedly their soft schedule. Then they went down to San Clemente and got waxed. And then Downey defeated them right after that.
Speaking of schedules, take a look at our schedules on the weekdays, Saturday 2 p.m., Monday at 6:30, Tuesdays at 2 o'clock. You can also watch us Wednesdays at 6:30, Thursdays at 2 o'clock.
I love those times because, especially the Monday 6:30, that's right during Monday Night Football, and people can click to us.
Alberto Martinez scrambling, and he's sacked for a loss of 4.
Martinez brought down our number 44.
So that's the first sack of the ball game for either ball club.
Aho made the tackle that time, in a fine one. Not only did he hit him, he wrapped him up and threw him for a loss.
So a loss of 4 on the first sack of this ball game. The give goes to Wright. Wright springs free, able to get 3 or 4 of them back. And of them, I mean the yards that, oh, actually that was Dante Vaughn. So Dante Vaughn, excuse me, carries the
You
football.
know, if the defensive line looks in the backfield, they will be confused. They should watch the linemen, because where the linemen go is where the ball is going, because the blocking has to be in front of the running.
Take 3. Ready 2. Take 2.
Well, of course, that's easy for us to say, and of course, they probably should be familiar with that since their offense runs a similar offense, but that is easier said than done. 3rd down and 9, or 11 rather. 3rd and 11. Goes quickly to Wright, right up the middle. Does not get the first down, and flags are down everywhere. And Wright is still on his feet, and he lost the football.
Ready 3. Take 3.
That looked like a scrum.
Looks like the old Keystone Cops film where everybody's going in all kind of different directions. We didn't know where the football was. For a moment, I thought the Panthers had gotten the football and was running the other way.
Well, the Panthers did get the football, but they're going to have to sort out the flags as well. Illegal shift by the Rams, declined. So the fumble after the gain of 5.
Well, finally something goes right for the Jordan Panthers as they come up with a fumble recovery. I thought for a moment it was a fumble recovery, but then I saw some other action downfield. So now the Panthers do have the football.
Well, this can be a turning point for the Jordan Panthers after really being back on their heels. This give goes to Jerron McCoy, and McCoy with a nice gain on his second carry of the game. This first carry resulted in a fumble.
McCoy handling that football a little carelessly. He should have 2 arms around it. He could have easily had that football jarred away from him, but he's scrambling for extra yardage.
And he did have it jarred away from him on his first carry just moments ago by Leggett, and it was recovered by Vaughn. It is McCoy again, and McCoy wrapped up from behind, but he gets another 12 yards, 13 yards, and another first down.
That time Leggett makes a tackle that if he had not made that, it would have been much more yardage. The offensive line, Willie, for the Jordan Panthers, the guards are pulling expertly well and coming out with some nice lead blocks to spring their running backs.
That was Diego Algarin with that shirt pulling tackle.
Do we want to talk about the fact that if Leggett's playing defense, are they going to get tired?
The give goes to Wilson. Wilson to the outside, trips and falls over the 45-yard line and advances to about the 47. Still a pickup of about 5, and now the Jordan Panther offense starting to churn some yardage.
Well, they're determined right now. You see the pulling guards there. He gets to the outside. Now the team speed of the Panthers is taken over. He springs, he bounces to the outside, almost a clip there, and he falls over his own self. He could have gained even more yardage.
It is somewhat slippery out there. The field looks a little beat up, considering it's not even halfway through the season. Great play in the middle. Is that 53 or 63? Was that Roland Courtney? What a huge play.
Roland Courtney, another fine defensive lineman for the he had great penetration there, and he's keeping his eye on the quarterback, and he just wraps him up and throws him down.
Quarterback draw turns into a sack.
Roland Courtney, he's a big one.
Threw him down like a rag doll.
Looked like he was going to fade back for pass Cameron, but Cameron decided to run the football and was thrown for a loss.
Well, it's the old quarterback draw. It goes to McCoy. McCoy to the outside. He's got wheels. He's got the first down. Cutting back, but he's out of bounds. They'll say he's tackled before going out of bounds at the 40-yard line, but he's got a pickup of 12.
Jonathan Molina was the lead blocker on that play, and he really ran interference in order to spring the running back.
And what we're seeing now is Jordan's team speed starting to make itself evident here in the ball game.
Well, by the time they've gotten on gear here, they're down by 2 touchdowns. But they're capable of striking fast, and they're doing it right now.
It goes up the middle.
This time the Panthers has tried to run between the tackles. They have the Rams defense on their heels, Willie. They're stretching out the defense, and then when they think they're going to stretch them some more, they run up the gut. And that time they got positive yardage, 4 yards on that play. Nice play calling by Greg Gibson, who was the offensive coordinator.
Grant McCray, that last carry. McCray is the lone setback with 2 backs in motion. It is the option as Smith calls his own number and picks up about 2 or 3. Well, give him 2. Willie Guillory out on the field. Doesn't look real happy about something.
Oh, all he has to do is look at the scoreboard. He's down 12-0, even though his team is moving the ball. Willie's a very emotional coach. Cares a lot about his kids, accepts nothing less but hard work. We have an injured Ram on the field.
Is that Dante Vaughn?
Let's take a look. Maybe we can see it happen.
There's Cameron Smith. He's getting wrapped up. He doesn't come away. Looks like number
17. It's Dante Vaughn.
Can we see what happened?
I'm not sure.
It looked like an ankle.
I think somebody rolled over his ankle or knee. Watch, Vaughn is on the tail end play. He's going down, and watch his own teammate roll on his leg right there.
And you're ball 3. Okay, well, while they're working on it, let's get a spot.
We'll take a break. Vaughn shaken up. He may be okay. We'll wait and see how things work out, but we'll be back with more in a moment.
And pasta.
You want to poll the audience? Or?
Yes. As we see the injured player, it looks like Dante Vaughn, they're carrying him off. That doesn't look good.
And his shoe is off, and that's always bad. You never want to see that.
Okay, Rich, back
3rd down, about 4. The give goes to Wilson, and Wilson's got the first down.
Okay, Rich, tell James Milo to get
A nice pickup of 8.
They're working on that right now.
Cameron Wilson is the mainstay running back for the Jordan Panthers, and he looks like a determined runner.
Wilson.
This has been a long drive that really started at about 6 minutes, I think, Willie, and it's 2:25. It's eating up a lot of time. The Panthers should want to score here to get back into the football game. Otherwise, it's just been a big waste of time.
Actually, this drive started as a result of the Millikan fumble, which was 2 plays after the Jordan fumble. Pass complete to the right side. Completion good for 10 yards and a first down. Cameron Smith now 2 out of.
Doug Stewart makes that tackle. Of course, his father is an administrator over at Millikan High School. Been knowing Doug for a long time. We went to college together. This is another one of his sons wearing the gold and blue for the Millikan Rams. It's a nice pass on the wide side of the field. Just a little hitch out there.
Coverage by our Ed Sports cameras.
And that was pretty good coverage by our Ed Sports camera. They're always everywhere on the spot.
Wilson gets hit in the backfield and finally wrapped up. Great defensive play by Chucky Symes. What a great play by Symes. Of course, there was a couple other Rams that helped derail Wilson's run there. Wilson was pestered by Leggett and finally brought down on the fine play by Symes. You can see Leggett still in the tail end of the pursuit. A loss of 4 on the play.
Ready 3, take 3, ready 2,
Make it a loss of 3.
take 2.
The pitch just as he's going down by Smith.
What coverage?
And it was given
Now
to
that was
Jerron
dangerous.
McCoy, and McCoy gets to the 10. Yes, a pickup of 8.
A fake blast, and really nice camera work by our Ed Sports crew, and it was very, Cameron Smith was very lucky. It's not Cameron Smith though, it's McCray, very lucky to get that pitch.
Well, Smith very fortunate just to get it off. Now it is 3rd down and 6.
Oh, we can't show it. Ready 2.
Great drive by the Panthers with less than a minute left in the first quarter. As the pitch goes back to Wilson, Wilson tries to cut back, but the Millikan Ram defense is up to the challenge. A loss of 2 on the play.
That pitch was covered by number 28, Seward Kim. He really turned him in and got some help, hung onto his leg, and then he got plastered by
Julian
number 59,
Diaz.
Julian Diaz.
Get back to the record.
Putting the weight of the entire Ram defense upon him. And they're in 4-down territory is the belief, because we've seen thus far a very poor kicking game by the Rams, so they'll go for it on 4th down. Trailing by 12. Timing pattern to the corner of the end zone. And there's a flag down, and it's caught for a touchdown. But they're going to call it offensive pass interference, I believe, because there was a push by Manuel Martinez. I believe it was an offensive pass interference.
I think it's a good call. As we watched that, it was just he just threw that up for a alley-oop
Watch
type of
Martinez
jump,
push right there.
right in the back, and he came up with a nice catch, but he was aided by his push.
Larry Parker had the position, but he got that forearm shiv in the back. Watch here. Watch Martinez right there, the push. That gives him the space between Martinez, or the defender on the play, Parker, and Martinez, and that is a loss of down penalty, and it's a turnover to the Rams.
Now, from a psychological standpoint, even though we're late in the first quarter, that is a psychological downer for the Jordan Panthers. They went about 60 or 70 yards on that series, taking up about 5 or 6 minutes, and come up with nothing.
Well, what would have been an incredible touchdown catch to draw Jordan close on a 4th down and 6 play comes up empty on the penalty. Eric Wright, nice move at the line of scrimmage. He's got a big hole. Look at Wright. Wright, still on his feet. Right on his feet to the 28-yard line. Oh, my. Eric Wright with 44 yards on the run.
Now, Willie, that was a great run, and let's not take anything, but let's look at the initial block by number 68 by the Rams, and that was Stephen Gardner made a good initial block right up the middle. He's the center, and now the rest is right. He's just a determined run here.
Look at him trying to shake the Panthers. That's Webb. He shakes Webb, or actually doesn't shake Webb. Webb finally holds on for the tackle. At the tail end of the play, he lost the football, but he was already down. Leggett got it back anyway for the Rams, but what a great, great run by Eric Wright, and we've reached the end of the first quarter. The Rams thus far have had most of the big plays, and they lead it 12-0 as we go to the first quarter break. Hi folks, welcome back. Start of the second quarter, first play. Martinez going up top. He's got a man, but he throws it over the wrong shoulder, or actually just underthrew it to Leggett, so the pass ball's incomplete.
Pretty good coverage out there by number 6, Howard Terrell.
How's that injury report? He's got it. He's got it.
Second and 10.
Okay, let us know.
And number 16, and we don't have that number, or no, excuse me, number 18, Malcolm Thompson.
Mic check with the wireless. Make sure it's turned on.
Is he doing a wireless?
Second down and 10. The football is at the 28-yard line.
Make sure it's
That last run by Eric Wright, 28 to the 28. The run started at the Jordan 28, ended at the Millikan 28.
Take two. Two's high. Watch your focus.
Start of the second quarter, 12-0 Rams.
check the wireless range. I can do it on that.
Ready, do a check on the mic check.
Go ahead. I don't have it.
The Rams go up the middle to Wright. Wright, no gain.
Eric Wright.
Well, we haven't talked much about the Rams offense, Willie. They're a double wing T offense. And it relies a lot upon a particular blocking scheme by the offensive line. Thus far, they have been executing it pretty well. But they have benefited from excellent field position throughout this football game.
All right, watch it between the next play. Get it ready on the next play, probably. You got it.
Sontag brings the play in. He's split out to the far side, or to the near side, rather. In motion goes Leggett. Give goes up the middle to Wright, and Wright gets drilled at the line of scrimmage again. No gain.
Ready, three, take
I got it
In
fine.
fact, they'll mark him down with a loss of a yard.
Take
Runs
two.
into another
Stand
wall.
by. You ready with the mic? You ready
Actually,
with it?
the give was to a new back in the lineup.
Get ready to go down to the
It
field.
was given to 44 Brian Christensen.
And tell him to keep it short, Brad.
So Brian Christensen with his first run is a loss of 2 yards.
Not you. Back up, back up, back up. Move back. Too much pride.
And Sontag is on to try a field goal of, let's see, 47 yards. A 47-yard attempt coming up. Snap is high, and the kick's a line drive kick, and it's loose. Panthers trying to pick it up and run with it, but it'll be down by the Rams. And that was the worst case scenario for the Rams, because if the kick misses, at least it's a touchback, and all Jordan gets is the football at the 20. But by blocking the kick, the Jordan Panthers will get much better field position. Meanwhile, down in the field, James Milo has a report on the injured Ram.
Yes, we have an update on the injured Millikan Rams player, number 17, Dante Vaughn. He has a possible right ankle sprain, and he will be taken into the locker room for observation during the halftime to see if he can play. This is all from the field. Back to you, Willie Nero.
Nice spin move by McCray. McCray still on his feet, picks up 6.
Finish that one up. When you finish it out, just say that's all we know right now. We'll get back to it.
McCray, 5 carries for 11 yards. He's had a 5-yard gain, a 4-yard gain, a 6-yard gain, but also 2 losses of 2 each. So he's got 11 yards. James Wilson, 5 carries for 21 yards. Jerron McCoy, 5 carries, 45 yards. Second down, long 4. Scoreboard says 5. One of the Rams look like they're lined up offside. It is the option. The pitch goes to McCoy. McCoy with a head of steam gets to the 45-yard line as he picks up 13 yards.
The Rams are allowing the Panthers to bounce outside, Willie, and that's just really deadly when you got the team speed that the Jordan Panthers have.
Okay, ready to.
The Panthers, not necessarily a hurry-up offense, but they're not dawdling at all, as the give goes right up the middle to McCray, and McCray does not get much.
Here we go, guys.
Pick up of a couple.
32 up the middle, McCray.
We're seeing some really fierce hitting up there. There's a lot of beef up there. The offensive line for the Jordan Panthers and the defensive line for the Millikan Rams.
Ready two. Ready three.
9:07 left, second quarter action. 12-0 in favor of the Rams, in part taking advantage of Panther miscues and poor kicking. This is McCray, and McCray going to the corner. He's in, touchdown. Grant McCray, a 44-yard touchdown run.
Speed kills. You can't teach it. They're born with it. Nice misdirection. He cuts away from the middle linebacker there, and he hits to the outside. They're still blocking downfield. The Rams are, the Jordan Panthers are. Nice block by Timothy McCullough to spring McCray, or was it McCray or McCoy?
It was McCray.
McCray for the touchdown.
Stand by 3, dissolve 3. Don't back it up.
There he is. He's very happy. They're back in the football game.
Okay. You got the whole thing, Kelvin. I want
Here we go. Let's see.
Wave them at the end.
Point after attempt is up, line drive kick, and it's good. It was not pretty, but it was good. 12-7. The Panthers have cut the Rams' lead to 5, and we'll take a break. We'll be back with more of this exciting football game in a moment. Hi, folks. Welcome back to our Red Dot Sports Game of the Week. 12-7 in favor of the Millikan Rams. But after having a good drive, stopped on a pass interference, offensive pass interference in the end zone that nullified a touchdown grab and rendering an entire drive useless or meaningless. The Panthers get the football back after a block of an Adam Sontag field goal attempt, and they're able to take the football the distance and score on a 44-yard touchdown run by Grant McCray. That makes the score 12-7 in favor of the Rams, who were not able to take advantage of either of their point after attempts. This kick, nice kick, and into the end zone and a touchback for the Rams. Well, nice job for Jordan by Maboop, who did a nice job.
Well, he's shown that he can do it too. Adam Sontag set the stage and the standard. Jordan Panthers came back and said, well, we can do that. And so they kick it in the end zone. That's the best weapon against any speedy punt returner or kickoff returner.
Well, it's a little bit of a surprise that Millikan jumped out to this 12-7 lead, as you see them still working on Dante Vaughn, but Jordan can quickly turn this around before halftime, and believe me, this is not over by any stretch of the imagination, as Leggett has the football, and Leggett gets 9. How, where, and when did Leggett get it?
Look at the pulling guards, number 59 for the Panthers, taking on 2 guys here, and the Leggett lowers his shoulder and gets some more yards.
This is an important drive for the Rams because they cannot afford to give the football right back to the Panthers and give the Panthers good field position, because the Panthers will ram it right back in and take a lead, and that would render Millikan's exciting first quarter explosion of 12 points meaningless. And what they need to do is basically take advantage of the fact that they have the lead right now, burn some time off the clock, move the football, and try to control that game of field position. That is a run good for first down as Wilson picks up, or Wright rather, picks up 6.
I think it's an excellent point you make, Willie. The Rams must control the line of scrimmage and the ball. They are not a quick strike team, although they have struck quick tonight because of great field position, but they're more of a ball control team, and they need to grind out the yards and the time off the clock and try to preserve the lead and maybe punch one in.
First and 10 for the Rams. They have the football at the 35-yard line. Misdirection, Leggett has it. Leggett, with both arms wrapped around that football, picks up a yard. And that is the prescribed way to run the football. There's limiting the chance of fumbling it as a pickup of 2 for Leggett.
The defensive line for the Jordan Panthers is an aggressive defensive line, Willie, as we see the tackling going on there, and they're missing tackles in the backfield. They should be wrapping. They should be a little bit more cautious. They're allowing the Rams running backs to get 3 or 4 or 5 more yards because of their over-aggressiveness.
Leggett again. Leggett has a little bit of a hole, and he's able to get to the 41-yard line. A pickup of 5.
There's a trap play here. They're pulling guards. And you do that, Willie, against a very aggressive defensive line. You run the traps, you run the screens, because they're trying to penetrate, the defensive line is, into the backfield. And if you can get a good trap play going on, you can get some additional yards and kind of sober that very aggressive defensive line.
Well, obviously, Tony Peralta sees what we do in terms of what the Rams need to do to avoid giving up a quick strike to the Panthers, and that is avoid giving the Panthers the football back in excellent field position and avoid doing it with a lot of time left on the clock. This is, after all, homecoming for the Panthers, and nothing worse than getting whooped on homecoming night, as Lakewood did last week to Pauley. Wright gets hit at the line of scrimmage, gets knocked backwards, then he's able to pull forward for about 3, but he stopped a yard shy of a first down.
And that was exactly what I was talking about, Willie. They had him in the backfield. They hit him, but they didn't wrap up. And as a result, as we see the play, you got to hit him right there, you see. And now he gets about 3 or 4 more yards. And you get some missed tackles over there, and he should have been trapped in the backfield. Good camera work by Ed. Sports camera team.
33, Richard Nichols, back.
So back to receive the punt will be Richard Nichols. Punting the football is Diego Algarin. Algarin in trouble, gets the kickoff. Good job, and then it's fielded on the short side for the Panthers by Howard Terrell. What a great play by Terrell. If he had missed that, if he had fumbled that, it would have been a fumble and a live football for the Rams to potentially recover. Watch this.
This was really good footwork by the punter. He was under great duress, and he got off the punt, a line drive kick instead of getting it in the air, and it's good field position for the Jordan Panthers.
But that line drive kick was fielded in the air by Terrell. Unbelievable. Watch how he fields this. This line drive kick, look at Terrell. He's actually boxing out. And then watch here, you're gonna see a clip coming up. Right, well, I don't really even see it, but the flag comes in and it's called. So 15 yards marked off against the Panthers. But they've got the football after a very short punt, but under duress indeed was Algarin. Up the middle and still on his feet is McCray. McCray had a 44-yard touchdown run moments ago. He's still on his feet, he's turning the corner. Spin move, out of bounds. Wow. So despite the penalty moving the football back to the 31-yard line, McCray, with some fancy footwork, able to get it to the Millikan 38.
And I know I'm going to be criticized for this, Willie, but it's really some poor tackling by both teams. They are not wrapping. They're hitting, but they're not wrapping. Here, there is the example of that, hitting them high instead of hitting them low and not wrapping.
McCray had 6 carries for 13 yards moments ago, but on his last 2 carries, runs a 44 and 31. He now has 88 yards on 8 carries. His last 2 carries have been good for 75 yards. Pass in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, McCoy. He should have had that. Should have had it.
Well, here we have number 17 for the Panthers.
That's Darnell Humphrey.
Darnell Humphrey, who was the starting quarterback last year. He rolled out, and
that's a little long.
That ball should have really been caught. It was a nice effort, but he just didn't come up with it. Cameron Smith is out of the ball game. We don't know why at this point, but Darnell Humphrey was the backup quarterback. As you remember, Willie, he was the quarterback of record last year.
The give up the middle. McCray pulling folks and getting very close to a first down. Boy, he is just tough to bring down. Nice run by McCray again.
Well, he's tough to bring down with it, but Coach Tony Peralta was talking to me before the game. He is not happy with the tackling on the part of his team. You need to tackle low, and you need to wrap, and you'll bring a guy down. Now, they're making him look like he's all world. He's a hard runner, but they're just making him look better than what he actually is.
McCray, 9 carries, 96 yards.
There's Tony Peralta.
Moments ago, you might have wondered what all the hoopla of this Jordan running game was about, but those last 3 runs by McCray ought to give you an idea. The give goes to Wilson this time. Left side, Wilson's gone. Touchdown, Jordan, and Jordan's got the lead. 13-7, Jordan has pulled out in front, and that's what the Rams needed to avoid.
Yes. Just a straight handoff on a stretch play. Nice blocking up front. Good. See, and the blocking also is due to team speed, too. The blocker's getting out there and getting in front of the running back, and it was just really basically almost a cakewalk in.
31-yard touchdown run by James Wilson.
The Panthers have some speedy backs. They have 4 guys that could really play running back. They have a lot of speed.
Here comes the point after attempt. It is a 1-point lead thus far. If I were the Panthers, I'd be trying for 2 right now to take a 3-point lead. This 1-point lead, or this 1 point here, would only make it a 2-point lead, and it's worthless.
And with the running backs that they have, the 2 points would probably be a little easier.
I would think so. I would go for 2. Kick is up. Kick is high enough, needless to say, and it is good.
There's Willie Guillory exhorting his troops. He is the heart and soul of this Panther football team. There's Greg Gibson next to him. They got it going over here in J-Town.
We'll take a break. Back with more in a moment. The LBUSD Personnel Commission can be very helpful to you if you're looking for an exciting career. Be sure to stop by their offices at 999 Atlantic at the corner of 10th and Atlantic. We're on Atlantic and Artesia, home of the Jordan Panthers, as the Panthers have just taken the lead for the first time in the ball game, 14-12. Now, the reason I say you go for 2 when you're up by 1 in that situation is this 2-point lead does not mean that you'll hold the lead on a field goal by Adam Sontag and the Rams. If you had gotten 2 points and taken a 3-point lead, at least you'd be tied. 1 point or 2 points, still not good enough to hold that lead on a field goal attempt by the Rams. That's not to say neither of these teams are going to score anymore, but stranger things have happened.
Well, I think your point is well taken, Willie. But it's water under the bridge, as they say. They decided to go for 1.
It's a moot point now, but we'll wait and see if that comes back to haunt the Panthers. Leggett with it, going nowhere.
Number 3, Leggett.
The Panthers, 14-12 to score. The Panthers doing a much better job now of shutting down the Rams offense. The last 2 drives.
Tony Tapuli came up with that tackle from his free safety position. He came up with a very hard tackle that time. You know, the Panthers have some outstanding safeties. They come up and lay a lick on you. Greg Webb, Tapuli. Wouldn't want to face those guys in a bar fight.
Well, better not be at a bar, eh?
No, they're underage.
One of those juice bars.
Eric Wright.
Eric Wright gets the football and gets just a yard. So after Wright's 44-yard scamper, he has been
Bottom of the pile.
held to very little.
3rd down, 7.
And now the Rams facing a 3rd and 7 and facing the very real prospect of the Panthers getting the football back with too much time and too little field to stop them. Rams could really use a first down here. Martinez rolling to his left, throws, has a man, it's complete. What a great play by the Rams
Number 3,
as Martinez rolling to his left
first down, Millikan.
And
is
he
able
had-
to complete it to midfield.
And it was nice, a nice play action pass. He rolled to the opposite side of his strong arm, and it was a nice throw. And, you know, the Rams don't throw the ball that much. Well, in fact, their first throw last week against the Compton Tar Babes was intercepted. So Tony Peralta does not like to throw, but in a 3rd and 7 they had to keep this drive alive. They came up with a rollout pass.
Hey, Martinez is 2 out of 3 for 72 yards and a touchdown. That's actually not doing too poorly with the passing game. Run goes inside. Football's loose. Who got it? The carrier was Seward Kim. First time we've seen Kim carry the football.
Pretty good football game we have here, better than the ones we've seen. Well, we had a pretty good one against Cabrillo and Bellflower. That was a pretty good one. That was a horror story last week in the Poly Lakewood game. But tonight we have a pretty good game. 14-12 with 2.5 to play.
So Seward Kim fumbles the football, but it is recovered by the Rams. Pickup of 7 on the play, 2nd down and 3. Kim loses it again. Kim lost it. That's his 2nd carry, his 2nd fumble, but he recovers it at the original line of scrimmage. I don't think he'll be getting the ball very
I
often.
think it was just poor timing. He really should have had it. He put the ball, Martinez put the ball right in his gut. I don't know, we were kind of screened out on the play, but he really mishandled it.
Well, Kim, 2 carries for 0 yards. He picked up 7 on the first. Lost 7 on the second.
Another crucial third down and long situation for the Rams.
However, not nearly as dire since the clock now shows less than 2 minutes. Screen pass, Leggett with a great one-handed grab, and he's going to win a foot race for a first down, maybe for a touchdown, as he stumbles but gets out of bounds at the 15, 13-yard line.
A nice inside screen. As we see the end of it, we'll see the beginning of it. It was a nicely developed screen right in the inside. Now watch the offensive lineman. They left the defensive lineman in, Willie, and then they just form a little picket fence for him. That was almost a fumble. Or incomplete pass, and he runs right through the wedge. And he stumbles a little bit on about the 20, but goes on till about the 12-yard line.
Pickup of 37. How about Martinez? 3 for 4 for 109 yards passing and a touchdown.
Well, they have passed.
Not bad for a non-passing team.
That's right. Well, they have passed well when they've had to.
And that was the same play that Dante Vaughn had taken 44 yards for a touchdown earlier in the ballgame. Up the middle to right, and right gets 1.
The Rams are a better football team than I thought they were. They are playing pretty good tonight.
Here's that same screen. What a great grab by Jason Leggett. There was great pursuit by the Panthers as they did not, just give up. In particular, Timothy McCullough. And a timeout is called by Millikan with 1:15 left in the half.
James has an interview ready set whenever we want it with a cheerleader and a homecoming.
So while we got this break, it's time for this week's Friday Film Forum Trivia Contest. We need to guess the movie which will be shown on October 27th.
Show me the clues, Willie.
Okay, it was produced in 1954, and it starred Howard Keel and Jane Powell. Can you guess the picture?
I'd like to poll the audience.
It's the rollicking musical adventure featuring fantastic dance numbers staged by the famous Michael Kidd.
Can I buy a vowel?
I'm sorry, your time is up, but someone in our viewing audience can win a $20 gift certificate to Bono's Pizza if they can guess which movie we're talking about. Just email your answer to ed.sports@lbusd.ca.us.
But you have to be the first one to email your answer.
You're correct, Jeopardy Breath. And at the Friday Film Forum, you get cartoons, short subjects, and interesting discussions with other film fans like yourself.
It doesn't say Jeopardy Breath. But anyway, show me the directions.
Go see the mystery movie on October 27th at the Friday Film Forum at the Long Beach School for Adults at 3701 East Willow, just east of Redondo. This was Kim again, and Kim holds on to the football this time, so that's a good thing.
Each of those programs will be in at 7 on that Friday Film Festival.
No gain for Kim.
The Friday Film Forum, I was just corrected. You know, there was a great decision on the part of Ray Sharp, and he'll take the credit for, he'll bow. We were going to do the Jordan Wilson game, the Polly Wilson game, but we thought this would be a better game, and we switched it. And so I think so far it's been a great decision. Here we are. If it turns out to be a rout, I'm going to tell everyone in the community it was Ray's decision. And I'll run for cover.
Well, you can call me Ray, or you can call me Mud.
Or you can call me broke, because Ray's not going to sign my voucher for my paycheck.
Timeout called again by the Millikan Rams, as they each have 1 timeout left. And down on the field, we've got an interview all set up as we're getting ready to have a little chat. One of our reporters standing by with one of the Millikan cheerleaders.
6:30, October.
I am here with cheerleading captain Sheena Richmond. Now, Sheena, tell me, I understand that you not only had 1 day of spirit, but a whole week. Can you tell us about that?
Sure, all week, the week before homecoming is the Spirit Week. Each day is different days, like Twin Day, Nostalgia Day, Spirit Day, and all the school dressed up according to whatever day it is so that we can have school spirit, hoping that we'll win the game on this Friday.
So it's looking good for you guys.
Yeah, so far we're ahead by 2 points. Hopefully we can win it.
All right, back to you guys, Willie and Darryl.
Thank you, Kim. And Kim, latest signee by KABC TV, is the pass complete inside the 5. And that'll be good for a first down, as it was 3rd down and 10.
Nice singer.
And a pickup of 11.
And it appears to be close.
The Rams go to the tight end that time. It's always good to go to those big old tight ends. They're a big target. And they pick up positive yardage here with about 25 seconds to play. This is an important drive.
Well, we're going to need a measurement to see if this was good for a first down.
25 seconds to go.
They're going to have a measurement to see if able to pick up that first down was their tight end.
Tony Peralta. He's had his ups and downs in this program over here. He inherited a program, had a couple of tough years, then got about 3 years ago, he had a playoff team, then he went down in the dumps again. Administration stayed with him, and now he's back up. There's Willie Guillory in his third year there. He's got his system in place right now as we see Coach Kane, the defensive coordinator.
John Flynn with a nice job once he made the catch for getting that last 2 or 3 yards that he needed for the first down. So it is first down and goal for the Rams, but they have not only their opponent on the field trying to stop them, but the game clock is also against them, as the game clock shows just 25, now 24 seconds left in the first half. Martinez, corner of the end zone, he has a man, but it's blocked. What a great defensive play by Webb.
Greg Webb, we've heard a lot about him. I remember his father, track runner at Long Beach Poly High School.
It was just underthrown by Martinez.
It certainly was, and it allowed Webb to recover. Nicely thrown ball, but it was a little underthrown, and Webb tips it at the end. Nice superlative defensive play.
If he throws that up in the air a little higher, Webb can't touch it. Flynn has to make a better catch, but still, that would have been 6. 17 seconds left now in the first half. Second down and goal. Martinez runs it up the middle, but that's going to require the final timeout be used, as Martinez just picked up a yard.
He goes right behind his center, but they close really quickly. The Panthers do, and otherwise would have been 6. The ball's on the 3-yard line. And here's a really good angle, as we see the charge up there right in the middle of the lineup, but they closed very well. Number 10 for the Panthers that time was, well, we don't have a number 10 for the Panthers.
They do, but we don't.
Yeah.
Now, the big problem here for the Rams is if they decide to try a final play before bringing the field goal unit on, it's got to be a pass play. Because if they should run the football and not get in the end zone, clock runs out before they get an opportunity to kick that field goal and take the lead. So if you're the Rams, do you try to kick the field goal now, take the lead before halftime, or do you try one more shot at the end zone? If you don't get it, the pass ball's incomplete, and then you bring your field goal unit on. What do you do?
I think you have a quick pass. You don't even roll out, because if you roll out, that's more time. Just a stand-up pass, maybe a slant right in the center of a slant by the wide receiver. And then if he misses the pass, then he has about 3 seconds to get the field goal unit in.
Martinez must get rid of the football regardless. He cannot afford a sack here because the clock will run. Pass play, corner of the end zone, and it's underthrown, incomplete. Leggett was open, and it was underthrown by Martinez.
It didn't have much time. He threw the ball where the defender couldn't be, but it was just a little bit out of the outstretched arms of the receiver. Let's look at it again. He's just a simple rollout.
Well, he's got the distance. He's got a gap.
But he probably threw it a little bit sooner than he wanted to throw it because he was under great duress. He was being heavily rushed.
And now, the point I was making during the extra point attempt by the Panthers, with this field goal, the Rams, should they make it, will lead going into the halftime locker room. Not that that's the worst thing in the world, but should the score stay that way, it would be. Kick is up. Kick is definitely long enough, and the kick is good. So on the final play of the first half, the Rams retake the lead by 1 over the Jordan Panthers. They now lead at 15-14.
Well, it's just a battle of wills here, Willie. One team that's powerful and strong and trying to control the clock, and one team that's athletic and has a lot of speed. Thus far, it's just been really a basic toss-up. The Rams have taken advantage of good field position to score twice, at least on 2 touchdowns, and the Jordan Panthers have scored quickly. Good first half.
Halftime show coming up next. Stay with us. My name's Willie Padilla for Errol Parker. Stay with us. Hi, folks. Welcome back to our Ed Dodd Sports Game of the Week. 15-14 in favor of the Millikan Rams. A very tight ball game, in fact.
Let's take a look at some
We've got some halftime stats. I ought to show you how close a ball game it's been. Passing-wise, Millikan rolling up the numbers passing-wise. 4 out of 7 for 120 yards. Jordan just 2 of 5 for 15 yards.
Well, you know, that's a surprise because the Millikan Rams don't pass very well. At least they haven't been. Tonight they roll up 120 yards, but the Panthers have the advantage in terms of rushing.
Rushing, the Rams were 21 carries for 97 yards, while the Panthers 22 carries for 208 yards. Individually, Wright had 77 yards on 10 carries for Millikan. McCray, 9 carries for 96. McCoy, 6 carries for 58. And Wilson, 6 for 52 yards. Total yards, 217 for Millikan, 223 for Jordan. That's how tight this ball game's been.
We'll have our first run back of the game.
From the 2, tripped up shy of the 20, so it actually worked out better than a touchback. Running it back for the Millikan Rams, Larry Parker.
Now, it'll be a test of wills here, Willie. Who's going to control the tempo of this football game? The Rams want to control the clock with a running game. They have not ran well, but they passed the ball well, but they've had good field position as we see the kickoff return here. And, of course, the Jordan Panthers want to run the football. And
watch this hit. Looks like he just hit somebody's.
One of the tacklers, actually.
Looked like he hit somebody's backside. In motion, Leggett. The give goes to Kim, and Kim picks up maybe 2 or 3 on that misdirection.
That tackle was made by number 9, Eric Portley. Man in motion. Misdirection in the backfield. Nice cut up field. But Portley was right there. Gain of 2.
Short pickup for Seward. Kim, he now has 0 yards rushing. As his runs have looked like this, he had 7 on his first carry, -7 on his second carry, -2 on his third carry, and this carry here was worth 2, so he has 0 yards rushing on 4 carries. Millikan leads by 1. Wright with the football, picking up another couple yards, should set up a 3rd and 6 play.
Big old Lance Horton was the tackler on that play. Rams are not getting much yardage here in the first couple of carries. No penetration right there, and a nice tackle by Horton.
And he gets hit right on the thigh. That couldn't have felt too good. As Kim goes in motion, fake both ways. Martinez to throw, and he underthrows it to Leggett. It's going to be picked off. It is picked off by Howard Terrell, and that is the first interception of the ball game, and it comes on the opening drive of the second half.
Well, now we see why Coach Tony Peralta does not throw the ball very often. That ball was underthrown, even though he had broken free from the cornerback, but the ball was just underthrown.
Well, Howard Terrell, excuse me, playing a good game. He had that, remember that short punt by the Rams? He fielded it rather impressively over his shoulder on that short kick. The fact that he was even aware it was coming towards him was pretty impressive. As Wilson gets 8 or 9 on the first play from scrimmage of the second half for the Panthers. Make it 9.
Second and 2.
And now Terrell with an interception.
Sula was the initial blocker on that play, and he did a good job to spring its running back.
Test Mike. Do the play. We're doing the play.
Up the middle. McCray's got it. McCray's got a huge hole. He's going to win the race. Touchdown, Jordan. A 47-yard touchdown run.
Fine run by Graham.
Oh, my.
Good blocking. He was touched after a 2-yard gain, and then he just outran the secondary for the touchdown. And how often today have we seen that the Rams get an initial, the Panthers get an initial block at the line of scrimmage, and they run 50 yards or so for a touchdown. It's happened 3 times in this ball game.
So on their opening drive of the second half, the Panthers get the lead right back. They lead by 5. They're going to go for 1 point. I think they should go for 2. But who am I? Point after attempt's up, and it is good.
It's good.
A 46-yard touchdown run.
Third quarter.
Nice run by McCray. And it's 21-15 in favor of the Panthers. Meanwhile, we have an update on the injury to Dante Vaughn.
Hi, I just spoke to the Millikan athletic trainer Bernie Beretta about Dante Vaughn, and he went to go get x-rays for precautionary reasons, so he won't be returning to the game. So we can only hope for the best. Back to you, Willie and Errol.
That was a good report.
And that's one of the reasons why maybe the Rams have not been as successful as they were in that first quarter, because Dante Vaughn really was making things happen. A 44-yard touchdown reception where he did most of the work on the screen pass. He had a punt block, he had a fumble recovery, then he suffered an injury. The Panthers, how about Grant McCray? Wow. 142 yards on 10 carries and 2 touchdowns, 1 of 44 yards, and on his first carry of the second half, a 46-yard touchdown run. Maboop. The kick towards the right corner, but then it stops. Parker has to pick it up. Now a flag gets thrown in the back and behind Parker, and Parker is suffering the torment of the Panther special teams.
Well,
I think that penalty is going to make it even further back.
It was so many flags falling from the sky. I thought this was an invasion from Normandy or something. There was just parachutes of yellow flags coming all over the place. So they're going to have to sort this one out.
It's a clip, and everybody saw it apparently.
Yes.
Everybody and their brother.
Yeah, I started to throw my hanky too right out of my breast pocket here.
But it's only a mark off of 3 yards because it's half the distance to the goal. So a 3-yard clipping penalty against the Rams, because it's only half the distance to the goal. You can't penalize them back under the goalpost. That's what would have happened. Seward,
Number 9.
excuse me, Leggett with it. Leggett, I don't think he got much, if he got anything at all.
Well, the Panthers have come out and asserted themselves here early in the third quarter. And as a result, they were down by 2 points, or what was it, 1 point, Willie?
1 point difference at halftime.
And now they're up by 6.
21-15, they lead it. Eric Wright gets across the 5 to the 8.
That's Tim McCullough, number 21.
Tim McCullough, the tackle.
Brings
A
down
pickup
Eric
of
Wright.
4 yards for the Rams. Make it a pickup of 5.
If the Rams don't get a first down here, it'll be excellent field position for the Panthers.
A late would-be tackle at the tail end of that play. No flag thrown. Big play here. The Rams need to get the chains moved, and that pass is just intended for Flynn, and Flynn claiming he was held as he's barking at one of the officials, and a flag comes down at the end of the play. Who do they have it on?
It could be called on Flynn for mouthing off.
I think they've got one of the Rams because the official was pointing towards the bench.
Okay.
And they might have it on Peralta, unsportsmanlike. We didn't have an isolation on Flynn, but Flynn is upset right there. You could see visibly upset. Let's see, watching the upper part of the screen, I don't know if we're going to get a chance to see it, but the hold probably already occurred at this point because Flynn should have been. Oh, and you can still even see it going on right there. He was being held. Unbelievable. That's actually, you could actually see it on the replay. He was being held. So after the incomplete, unsportsmanlike,
Oh,
so he was held.
He was held a little bit.
Well, that's all it's got to be.
Well, just a little bit.
So again, marked off half the distance to the goal. So
Actually, it was quite a bit.
that's a mark off of 4. So that was actually not a very brutal penalty. Whistles all over as Algarin gets the punt away and got a good one off, actually. Not a great one, though. Coming up was the punt receiver, Richard Nichols, and Nichols was already at the, look where he's standing. He's at the 25-yard line. Well, that's offsides against the Panthers. A couple more penalties like that, the Rams might get themselves a first down. A penalty here would give the Rams a first down, but I don't think they're looking for the old penalty play. Algarin, line drive kick, end over end, line drive. It was right at Nichols. Nichols gets almost tackled by his own man. A flag goes down. Nichols got hogtied by one of his own guys. Wow. And a flag is down at about the 29-yard line. Well, neither of the Rams had a very good shot, but watch Webb here. Craig Webb. But actually, as it turned out, it actually gave Nichols a head of steam going in the opposite direction of the would-be tacklers. But a clip is called against the Panthers, and that will be for the full 15. And we'll move the football to the 45-yard line. First down and 10 for Jordan. They've got the football at the 45, but they have shown 45 yards is mere child's play in their hands. They lead it 21-15. A little more than 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Little screen pass to McCullough, and McCullough's got at least 17 yards on the play before finally being dropped.
You know, one of the things that the Panthers are doing, Willie, is they are fully utilizing their team speed. This inside screen is an example of that. Now, their inside, look how the linemen are downfield, and they're now taking advantage of their speed, not only in the offensive line, and the slowness of the defensive line for the Rams. And that's good strategy by offensive coordinator Greg Gibson, and a plan to take advantage of their speed, overall speed, by the coaching staff.
And after being removed at quarterback by Willie Guillory, Cameron Smith is back in the game and throws this pass incomplete. So after a brief respite to the pine, he's back in the ball game.
Now this was just a little bit overthrown, just a drop step pass, and it was good defensive coverage. A nice effort by the wide receiver, but the ball was a little bit overthrown.
Well, it was thrown in an area where only the Jordan receiver, Manuel Martinez, could get to it. And Martinez, who was guilty of an offensive pass interference earlier, kept him from having to use any handiwork to get free. Up the middle to McCray, and McCray in a big herd getting 6 yards, maybe 7.
The Jordan Panthers are beginning to dominate this football game. You can just feel it. They got good field position, but they were tacked on 15 yards for a major penalty, and they have reasserted themselves in terms of their running game, and they're wearing the Millikan Rams down.
Well, the Rams need a big stand here. It's 3rd down and 3. They get a long 3. It's to McCray, and they've got him in the backfield. Great defensive play by number 44, Brian Christensen, as he forces McCray down for a loss of a yard.
Christensen, 4th down and 4.
That'll bring up 4th down and 4, and I don't see the kicking team coming out, so the Panthers going for it on 4th and 4. You can watch the penetration by Christensen here. Well, I guess we won't see that. 6:27 left, third quarter. Panthers. The give goes to McCoy. McCoy with a nice move to the outside, touchdown.
Jerron McCoy.
Now he's the real McCoy.
4th and 4. All they needed was a first down. They get a good block at the line of scrimmage, and how many times have I said it? I feel like I'm being so redundant, but it just happens time after time. The Panthers get a good block at the line of scrimmage, and they give it to one of their speedy backs, and just like that, it's 6.
It is now 27-15 in favor of Jordan after that 23-yard touchdown run. And you can see the Panther fans, at least the stands are full, the kick is up and good. 28-15.
Well, the Panthers have come out here and they have scored twice here in the third quarter, and they have shown, as the fans here and on homecoming here at J-Town, are really happy about their Panthers. I mean, they're sitting down right now, but of course.
But the Millikan side, it's like they forgot to send them an invitation or a schedule or something. There's nobody there.
And it's really a shame because the Millikan Rams have played well this season. They have a winning record. They're 1-0 in Moore League as we speak, but not many of their fans are here to witness it tonight.
Well, McCray scored on his first carry of the second half, a 46-yard touchdown run. And now McCoy has scored on his first carry of the second half, a 23-yard scamper. And since it was 12-0 at the 7:21 mark of the first quarter, when the Rams took a 12-0 lead, the Panthers have outscored them 28-3.
Well, the linebackers haven't been able to tackle or catch up with the running backs, and the safeties are out of position. And after initial blocking line of scrimmage, the Panthers are off to the races.
Well, after all those booming kicks, a short kick, Doug Stewart fields it. But Stewart, instead of running north and south, did that little east and west thing and almost did not get to the 20-yard line.
Good coverage by the Panthers kickoff team. Special teams again is very, very important. There are some coaches who spend a lot of time on it, especially during the summer, and it pays off during this time of the season.
This might be the most important drive of the ball game for the Rams. Trailing now by 13 points. They have been silent on the scoreboard since the field goal to close the first half. Leggett with 8.
3 on the carry, Lacy.
Actually, they'll give him 9.
Timothy McCullough comes up with that tackle.
And now a hurry-up offense for the Rams. Well, trying to bring it right back at the Panthers. 2nd down and 1. Fake. Martinez has it. Going downfield, and he's got Flynn. Flynn with the grab. Flynn down at the 33.
Now, really, I don't know what Tony Peralta was talking about to me the other day. He said, we're just not a good passing team. And he comes here, and Martinez is showing that he's a good darn passer. And then he hits his big tight end out there, and he's wide open. But, what set that up was good ball face and mixed direction in the backfield.
And the fact it was 2nd and 1, and the Panthers felt that they were just going to try and get the first down.
Good call.
38 yards on the completion. Impressive number for Martinez, as Leggett cannot get free, picks up a couple. Martinez now 5 for 10 for 158 yards. Wow.
One of the things you like about a quarterback on the misdirection offense, Willie, is to carry out his fake. And that's what Martinez does, and he gets the linebackers frozen. They don't really know whether they think it's going to be a run, and if he continues to carry out his fakes during the course of the game, he can lull some linebackers to sleep and catch a wide receiver open.
2nd and about 9. In motion is Kim. Martinez fakes. He can run, but he gets driven out of bounds right in front of our camera. And I heard Ray Sharp holding his breath. This is living dangerously. Alex Aguirre.
Well, he's got medical insurance, I'm glad.
And look at him, still focusing and pointing. Atta baby. Good job, Alex. Nice work.
What Martinez did that time, Willie, is he carried out his fakes, and he decided to run the ball himself, which is really putting it on the mind of the Panthers at this point as we see our trusty cameraman.
It's that screen pass again. Leggett's got it in a whole lot of room. Leggett's got a first down, and he's finally down inside the 20. How many times have the Rams run that play that they learned from Los Alamitos a few years back when they were running that to Brad Melsby, and they crushed the Rams that year, several years back? So a pickup of 13 on the play, and injured on the ground is Tim McCullough.
McCullough in obvious pain. Nice play calling by both the Panthers and the Rams on this drive. Beautiful play calling by Peralta and his coaching staff.
And while McCullough, writhing in pain, is being attended to, the score is 28-15 in favor of the Jordan Panthers, but the Rams on the move. I'm Willie Padilla along with Earl Parker. Stay with us. Our coverage continues in a moment. All right, folks, welcome back to our Red Dot Sports Game of the Week. It's been a good one. The Panthers and the Rams. Jordan leading at 28-15, but the Rams on the move. And let's go ahead and, we're getting ready for an interview. Let's go ahead and go downstairs and get that.
Hi, I'm here with the Assistant Superintendent H.J. Green of the Long Beach Unified School District. So tell me, fall football homecoming, what does this tradition mean to all of the high schools in Long Beach?
Well, I think it's one of the great traditions in America, the high school football, and I'm an old Oklahoman, so you know, in the Southwest, it's a really big event, and here in Long Beach, it's one of our highlights of our school year every year.
How do you think this keeps the spirit up for all year long?
Well, I think you can see hear the enthusiasm of the crowd, and seeing all the students and the ambassadors and everything. It's just a very special event for us.
It's certainly a great tradition. Back to you, Willie and Errol.
And now our great tradition of bringing you all the exciting high school sports. Touchdown pass for the Millikan Rams. Their passing game has been clicking. That 19-yard completion, good for a score. And now 190 yards passing for Martinez. Sontag on to try the point after attempt. 28-21, point after attempt is up and very long enough, and it is good. So the lead back down to 6 for the Panthers. But what did I say? That this was the most important drive of the game for the Rams, and they responded.
They responded very, very well. Poor tackling on the part of the Panthers. Now, they over-pursued. The safety came up trying to make a shoestring tackle instead of trying to make a sure tackle. It was a nicely designed play, Willie. It was just a nice little hitch pass, and about 2 or 3 missed tackles allowed the touchdown.
That play from Martinez to Leggett. That is the second touchdown pass of the game for Martinez. He has been picked off once. He has 190 yards passing. How impressive is that for a team that doesn't pass the ball?
It's amazing. You know, and they have been aided by some over-aggressive defensive attempts by the secondary for the Panthers. I mean, they're a very aggressive defensive team, but they're not sure of their tackle. So the Rams are taking full advantage of that.
They virtually scrubbed the running game on that drive, except at the outset when they were at the 20-yard line and pinned it relatively deep in their own territory. But
Willie,
once they got the ball moving, and that was the big, on 2nd down and 1, the big 38-yard pass that really set this whole score up, that the Rams scrapped the running game and went to the air and have profited as a result. Sontag on to kick off. Big booming kick, but it's fieldable.
For the first time.
It is taken at the 1 and nearly a face mask. Oh, nice tackle by Leggett, who just scored the touchdown. Leggett knocks McCray off his feet. Well, this guy does it all. He scores, he stops. There was a near face mask, since you see him slap the helmet, but doesn't get his fingers tangled in the face mask. Watch. You'll see him hit the face mask.
Yes. Should have been called. And plus,
no, that's a 5-yarder at max anyway.
Doug Stewart came out of his lane on the kickoff return, which allowed the runner to get it to the outside and gain more yardage.
The pitch to McCoy. McCoy hit at the line as the Rams, revitalized by that touchdown drive, stop McCoy after a pickup of a yard.
Here's the play here. Is it a fake dive and then a pitch?
Smith pays for being in the area. as he gets drilled from behind by Lance Mixon. Second down and 9. Give quickly to McCray. He slips out of one tackle, but he can't slip the tackle of Larry Parker.
Nice. Now that's the way tackling is supposed to be executed, Willie. Nice tackling. He kept his head on the outside, got his head in there, and he wrapped, and he didn't let go. He didn't just try to knock him down. He tackled him and wrapped and waited for some help. That is how tackling is done. We've seen a lot of missed tackles tonight because the techniques have been poor.
First down on that run by McCray. It is 1st and 10 for the Panthers. McCray, 13 carries for 157 yards. It has been a huge ball game in terms of the running numbers for the Panthers. It is McCoy now. McCoy juking to the outside, still on his feet. Finally gets wrapped up, but he gets 8 along the way. McCoy has 90 yards on 9 carries. Wilson 61 yards on 7 carries. 157 for McCray on 13 carries. So that, just between those 3 guys, that adds up to 308 yards on 29 carries.
Pretty good ball game.
308 yards on 29 carries. Wow. 2nd and 2. Smith straight to drop back. Going up top. Coming back. Oh, and it's nearly picked off. Coming back to it was Malcolm Thompson, but then it very nearly was picked off and maybe should have been picked off.
Well, the pattern was a stop and go, and he had plenty of time to throw the football. He underthrew it, and it was almost picked off by the cornerback over there.
Larry Parker should have had that one. That brings up 3rd down and 2 after that incomplete. Passing-wise, numbers not good for Jordan. First down yardage, however, on the run by McCray. Was it McCray or McCoy?
Willie, the offensive line for the Panthers is really dominating the line of scrimmage. They're much quicker. They get a good push off the ball as we're looking here. And then once these speedy backs get in the secondary, they're hard to bring down.
Smith called his own number.
First down.
A little bit different right there. Smith straight drop back, setting up a screen, and he throws it right down at the feet of the intended receiver, Howard Terrell. And what basically Smith was trying to say there is, it's not going to work. Let's just start back at the line of scrimmage instead of losing some yardage.
Smart play. Very, very smart play. He'll get a lot of kudos in the film room tomorrow morning because of that play. Didn't see nothing develop. He decided just to get rid of it.
Football at the 45. 2nd down and 10 for the Panthers. They're in Millikan territory, leading by 6. Under 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter as the play is whistled dead.
It may be delay of game, Willie.
We'll check the call. It is procedure against the Panthers. That'll set up 2nd and 15.
Smith decided to change the call at the line of scrimmage, and apparently all of his players didn't hear it, and they were on the different page that time. But he saw something different in the Ram defense, and he attempted to audibilize.
Now, the Panthers have been making huge chunks of yardage with their running game. There's no need for them to go to passing mode just because it's 2nd and 15. Wilson not in the proper alignment. Smith, good job to move him. Then he runs into his back as that play smelled out from the start by Julian Diaz. Watch as Smith tries to get it to McCray, and Diaz is there to spoil the fun.
There's some confusion on the offense on the part of the Panthers, and Smith is trying to get his guys in position, but it was great penetration by the Rams defensive line.
A loss of 4 on the play, setting up 3rd down and 19.
Now this is critical here, Willie. 1:26 left to go in the 3rd quarter. If the Panthers go 3 and out here, then the Rams get the momentum back.
I think the Rams already have it. The Panthers have been moving in reverse since getting to the 45. Screen pass being set up, high arcing screen pass to McCray. McCray gets hit before getting back to the original line of scrimmage. So that play picks up 7, but that's all, and they needed 19.
Well, it could have probably picked up more if the ball had not been lofted out there.
quite so high.
Yeah, and he had to wait for it to come down, and then he got on his horse after that, but it just wasn't enough time. Now the momentum stays with the Rams as they stop the Panthers here on downs, and they'll get a chance to get pretty good field position, we think.
Now, Maboop has had problems punting the football. He's had one blocked. He had one as a line drive kick that did not go very far. And getting just into the play was McCoy, and it's a fake. And it's going nowhere. Smelled out by the Rams. They did not fall for it. In fact, it does not even get back to the line of scrimmage. A loss of a yard on the play.
Now, I got to question that call.
They could have pinned the Rams back deep in their own territory. Instead, they give the Rams excellent field position. Great play by Algarin to smell that out.
Well, they could have pinned them back, and their speedy defense probably could have held them. Now, the Rams get the ball near midfield with a chance to go ahead in this football game.
So Terrell dropped for a loss of a yard. And with 17 seconds left, Jordan wants a timeout.
17 seconds ago, we have a timeout.
Apparently, they did not have the right personnel on the field.
We have an emergency. We need Davian Turner.
And timeout called by the Panthers. That is the third timeout they've used in this game. They used 2 in the first half, 1 here in the second, and all of them have been out of confusion. They not because they, want to discuss strategy or whatever, but out of this particular situation. We'll take a break. 17 seconds left in the third. Hi, folks. Welcome back. First down and 10 for the Rams from just about midfield. They're at the 48-yard line. The give goes to Leggett. Leggett picks up 4. Now we've got an injury report down on the field by James Milo.
Yes, we have an update on an injured player, number 21, Timothy McCulloch. He apparently banged knees with one of the Jordan defenders, was hustled off the field, only to be patched up and put right back into the game. That's all from down here. Back to you, Willie and Arrow.
James Milo is getting better as a sideline reporter.
And
loosening it up.
And we reached the end of the third quarter, and neither team had to go very far because the football was at the 47-yard line of Jordan, so about a 6-yard mark off from one side to the other, and we're just about ready for play. They could start the fourth quarter right now. Good job by James Milo, as you mentioned. We are now at the
having a little
end
bit
of the
more
third.
fun out there. Let it rip, boy. Let it rip.
We're going to the fourth, and it's 28-22 Jordan, but Millikan's got the football, the momentum, and time is on their side. By the way, the homework helpline, that's the number, 437-2859.
Let me get a pencil here. I got some homework I got to get done.
You've got a number 2 pencil, I know.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm so smart I don't need an eraser. I do my math work with my pen.
I do my crosswords with a pen.
But you get them wrong all the time. You should get an eraser.
Not only do I not get them wrong, I finish them. Contact us at ed.sports@lbusd.k12.ca.us. As the give goes to Leggett again. Leggett, some tackles missed, and he gets another 4 or 5 as he's going to make it 3rd down and 1. Well, that play had worked for 3 yards, no yards, 2 yards, 2 yards twice. But now on the last couple tries, it's worked for a total of, 7 yards as the Rams moving the football now.
Both of these teams really have fine character. They're pretty good coach teams. These guys do not quit, and they believe in their running game.
What a huge upset this would be for the Rams, and it would keep them in first place. Flags are down, and Wright's got a first down. It doesn't stand, though.
Flag is in the backfield.
Yeah, I think it's going to be motion or illegal procedure. You're going to have procedure against the Rams, I believe. 2 guys shifting simultaneously. So nullify the first down, and it's going to be 3rd down and 8. Huge penalty at a very inopportune time. Now the Rams have been very successful passing the ball. As Martinez, 7 out of 12 for 190 yards. Wow.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Panthers, they are 4 out of 9 for only 38 yards. That's their 2 quarterbacks combined. Pass play, Martinez going deep, and he's got a man. And they're not throwing any flags, as waiting for it was Leggett. He had him beat, but he had to wait for it, but he got ran into by a couple Jordan defenders.
If this is not pass interference, I don't know what is. I mean, it really is. Let's take a look at it if we can, Willie.
Oh, he runs right into him.
He runs right in. Now, he gives him a little bit of a nudge. I'm not sure, though. I mean, he didn't knock him. I mean, there was contact. There was no question
contact
about
before the ball got there. That's the key thing.
It wasn't
contact. Simultaneous. That was a terrible no call by this officiating crew.
Nichols, number 33, going deep. Diego, running for Millikan.
So the punting away from Nichols, and there's a block in the back. What a terrible block for Jordan, as a clip is already called. There's another flag, and Nichols will go all the way, but I'm not even excited because it's not going to count. And then Nichols gets wrapped up at the 1. What was that all about? Did he get tired? Nichols was dogging one of the Rams, and he caught him. Doug Stewart will have none of that. Watch here. Watch this block in the back. That is classic clipping. You just can't do that.
And it was another clip further down the field, I do believe.
That is just so old, unreally obvious.
Yeah, there's another clip right there. I think that's what they call it.
Well, the one you're going to take is the one back at the 14-yard line. But now watch this. A little showboating. I know I saw a member of the Cowboys, one of their defenders, kind of dog one of the Buffalo Bills, caught him, knocked it out of his hands.
Carrying the ball with one hand, could have dropped it. Well, he'll hear about that tomorrow morning in film room.
Well, the flag that was thrown back at the 14 will be half the distance to the goal, so the football will be marked at the 7-yard line. That was just brutal.
And that was a lazy clip. You couldn't get there to administer a good block, and you decided to go ahead and knock a guy in the back. So that wasn't very
inopportune times.
Yes, it really right in front of everyone.
All right, James Milo has an interview. Let's go down to the field.
We're here with Leah Burton, quintessential queen bee of Jordan High School. Leah, can you tell me what the homecoming tradition was like when you went here at Jordan High School?
Lots of fun, lots of energy, a lot of alumni here, just everybody having a great time and celebrating that J-Town spirit.
You having fun here tonight?
I'm having a great time. It's nice to be here and just to see what all the accomplishments that Jordan High School has made. It's wonderful. It's lots of energy, great.
Well, thank you very much, Nia. And that's all from here down on the field. Back to you, Willie and Arrow.
Thanks, James. Let's see. The call was, well, there was 2 clips. And they took the one from the 14-yard line, which marked it back to the 7. And then I believe there was another flag at the end of the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, which marked it back another half the distance to the goal. So the football is at the 3.5-yard line. Let's see the call. Let's check with our officials. Timeout called by Jordan.
Okay, they called the timeout. Okay, let's go.
We'll take a break, try and figure this all out. We'll take a break, back in more in a moment. Hi, folks. Welcome back to our Ed Dot Sports Game of the Week. That timeout was not so that Willie Guillory could discuss things with his team. He wanted to discuss that double infraction more with his the officiating crew. And the Jordan Panthers are unbelievably happy. Maybe they don't see the train in the train tracks. The light at the end of the tunnel is that train coming right at them.
Well, there he is, Willie Guillory. He's not terribly happy with his team's performance tonight. They got off to a terrible start. But in talking to Willie and his teammates, they're wanting more respect. They're wanting more respect for the school. As we see Tony Peralta, he has established himself as a fine coach, fine disciplinarian, has a fine staff. He knows how critical this game is for his program. He wants to go 2-0 and have a chance at making the playoffs.
Now, why have they not started playing again?
I wonder if this is a TV timeout.
Well, we're TV, and we're not at a timeout any longer.
They need to inform us if they're going to take a TV timeout, and we would like to know.
Now, earlier, I know that Russ Johnson was over talking to Willie Guillory, but now they're either continuing this conversation from long distance, from a distance of about 20 yards.
Okay, here you go, guys. There's something you can talk about.
They're the cheerleaders. Homecoming here in J-Town, and they're having a lot of fun. A lot of kids come on. We saw Joel Roseborough before the game, of outstanding wide receiver and basketball player here a few years ago. Went up to the University of Washington and played, and he's returned here, married, a couple of kids. He's really doing a great job.
Well, the ball finally made ready for play. It's at the 4-yard line. The Panthers, they'll get an opportunity to burn some time off the clock, but they've got a whole long way to go, especially if they can't get out of this hole. Play sniffed out by Roland Courtney as McCray grabbed after picking up a short pickup of 2. $155 yards rushing on 15 carries for Grant McCray. A very, very outstanding effort for the young man. A flag is down. Whistle dead before it begins. What's the call? We've got motion against Jordan, so illegal procedure against the Panthers. That'll be half the distance to the goal, so -3 on the penalty. Well, the Panthers have certainly gotten a break on the value of these last few penalties, as they've been marked off for -7, -3, -3 on their last 3 calls. As the play going up the middle, going nowhere.
Now, this is a critical series of downs for the Panthers, Willie.
And getting even more critical.
And if they cannot get a first down here, as we get the replay going here, then the Rams look like they'll probably get pretty good field position. And if they can get good field position and score, they have a chance to go up 1 or 2 points in this football game.
And how about this Ram defense? Haven't given them much credit. Granted, they've given up quite a few yards on the ground. As Smith throws the football, and it's dropped by McCray. McCray had a first down and just flat out dropped it.
And you know why he dropped it, Willie? He lost concentration.
Well, he
was
heard Larry
thinking
Parker
about
coming.
running the football before he was thinking about catching it. And he lost concentration. He was thinking about getting tackled.
That
would have been critical.
That is his second drop of a sure catch in this ball game.
I had the catch on it. Yeah, sorry, Rich, we lost one of our schools.
Smith is not to be blamed entirely for his 4 out of 9 performance passing in this game for 38 yards, because he's had 2 dropped by McCray and another 1 or 2 that have been dropped, and also a touchdown pass that was called back on a penalty.
Now this will be a critical punt situation here for them, Willie. If it's punted, if it's blocked in the end zone, it could be a 2-point safety.
There's no margin for error. Bad snap, and it's real. Oh, look, he bobbled it. It is blocked, and it's out of the back of the end zone for a safety, just like Errol called it. So now it's 28-24.
Well, you don't have to be a real Phi Beta Kappa genius to know that all game the special teams have come up with some superlative play. That time the snap was mishandled. It was a pretty good snap, but it was mishandled.
Well, Boop stands 6'3", so it wasn't over his head by any stretch.
No, he just mishandled it, broke down concentration, and now it's a 28-24 lead for the Panthers.
Well, not only do you get the 2 points, but now you get the football back after the free kick from the 20.
You tell me you got an interview if you got no mic.
Well, Willie is really frustrated in this football game. He got off to a poor start early, gave the Rams 2 touchdowns, came back strong, got the ball game virtually tied at halftime, even though he was down by a couple of points, or 1 point, excuse me. Then the Panthers reasserted themselves in the third quarter and scored a couple of times, and then they relaxed again.
There's no relaxing in football. You just can't do that. We'll go down to an interview in a moment after this free kick, which will be booted by the Rams from the 20-yard line. The kick on the free kick can be punted or off a tee, and generally they prefer off the tee unless hang time is an issue. But at the very least, you can expect the Rams to get to the 30-yard line to start this drive, and given good fortune, the Rams may get even better than that.
This needs to be a really booming kick.
And it is, and it's almost misplayed by Parker as he goes back to get it the 20. He's at the 30, the 40, still on his feet to the 45. And the Rams will begin at the 46-yard line. We've got an interview. Let's go down to the field.
Hi, I'm here with Jordan's activity specialist, Howard Hodges. So can you tell me a little bit about your International Ambassadors Program?
Yes, I can. They're all seniors who have made application for the program. They wrote a speech that lasted 3 to 5 minutes, and we had a team of teachers and administrators evaluate them, and the top scoring person in each category was selected as the ambassador.
Wow, so how is it working out for you guys?
It's working out very well.
All right, back to you guys, Willie and Errol.
5-yard pickup by Eric Wright. Haven't heard much from him here in the second half. He now has 89 yards rushing. He had 77 at halftime. But the passing game has certainly perked up for the Rams. At halftime, they had 120 yards passing. As the give goes to Leggett. Leggett got back to the line of scrimmage, then tried to go sideways and got dropped for a loss of a yard.
Second and 6.
Howard Terrell came up with that tackle. Nice defensive play to stop a would-be gain. You know, this is a team, two teams who have contrasting styles. The Rams like to run the football, and they've been passing the football pretty well tonight, but they're not as fast as the Panthers. The Panthers sometimes speed is a vulnerability to them, Willie, because they react, and as a result, the Rams pick up extra yardage.
And Willie Guillory is just beside himself still.
Look for Greg. No, Greg Gibson is on the sidelines.
But he may not be for long.
And he's got his phones on or something. I don't know what's happening. Well, the play is going to resume.
Well, I don't see anybody leaving. Well, finally, this important 3rd down and 6. Finally, this 3rd down and 6 play, key play, critical play for the Rams will take place. Fake to Leggett, roll by Martinez. He's gonna have a tough time getting rid of it. Shovels it forward, and it's incomplete.
Well, I got a report on what happened, Willie. I think Coach Kane, the defensive coordinator for the Panthers, was ejected from the game, and they saw him up here in the booth, and they said he has to leave the booth too. So he had to leave the booth up here with us. He was attempting to hide up here with us, apparently, and you
Is that
probably,
who was slithering behind me?
and then you called the officials on him. We saw you, Willie. So he's up here. Come and get it, you know, and so he had to leave.
Well, no wonder he was being so mum and so quiet.
Yes, I know.
There we go. 4th and 6. Rams forced to punt and barely getting it away. And Nichols gets dropped immediately.
Very unceremoniously, I might add.
But the punt by Algarin does not pin the Panthers back as deep as the Rams would have liked out of that exchange of field position.
Well, now it's up to the Rams to really play good defense, Willie, because they have not really tackled well. Now, I wouldn't say they haven't played good defense, but tackling is such a big part of defense. They have not tackled well, especially at the line of scrimmage.
The Panthers, who have not gotten on the board since the 6:18 mark of the 3rd quarter, as quarterback run right off the bat. Smith gets 14 yards on the play. Nice run by Smith.
But Smith was paid the price at the end of that run. He was hammered by 2 tacklers for the Rams. And Coach Guillory was telling me before the game that, this quarterback will take a beating in his offense. He's a threat to run. Now he got hit in the back of the neck that time. It could have been a serious injury, but it's football.
Clock ticking, and is very clearly the ally of the Panthers.
Close to a first down.
Good tackle by Parker
Nice
again.
run by Wilson as he picks up 9. And now the Jordan machine gearing back up that we saw really moving the ball well between the start of the second quarter and about midway through the third quarter. They went silent for quite a while there, but they appear to be back in stride.
With just too much team speed for the Rams that the Panthers have.
Well, the Rams had their opportunity there after pinning the Panthers back after getting the safety, as McCoy gets tripped up after a short pickup of 4, but a flag is down in the backfield. But the Rams had their opportunity after the safety, the free kick and the football at the 45-yard line, 46-yard line, but could do nothing with it offensively.
What's the phone number? 1323.
Got an injured Ram on the ground here.
757.
Looks like clipping against the Panthers.
Well, out of that second and one play, we'll make a 2nd and 16 or so play. See if we see where the injury occurred.
It looks like John Flynn, who got pancaked
no,
early.
he's 95 right there. He's getting up.
Oh,
but if we go back, roll it back a little bit, and we'll see that again. You can see the injury. That was to Chucky Symes. Watch Chucky Symes. He's in on the tackle. He's already injured his shoulder, it appears, as he goes down at the end of the play after attempting to try to make the tackle on McCoy.
There's Paul Ear. Looks like he's not going to play. He's out for the season, and they really miss him.
83 yards in penalties, and it's going to be more. Smith will run it and get hammered going out of bounds.
Well, it seems like when the Panthers get rolling here in the second half, after 2 or 3 good productive plays, and there's some confusion in the Panthers' offensive attack, as we saw when they had the ball the last time, and this time it continues with another major penalty.
It's now 3rd down and 22, or 2nd down and 22 rather, for the Jordan Panthers. They have been penalized 10 times for a total of 88 yards. The Rams only 4 penalties for 27 yards, but remember, several penalties have been declined in the game. Smith gets hammered under Flynn and company as he gets sacked for a loss of a couple more.
And the confusion continues offensively for the Panthers. It looks like that half the team is on one page and the other half is on the other. They have so much potential on this team. They have great athleticism and speed, and when they get it going, Willie, they really look good. But they're marching in the opposite direction right now.
3rd down and 20, actually 25 rather.
We was looking at Ron Massey, former
Smith,
high school teammate of mine.
Rolling to his left, going up top, and has a man, but it's picked off. Nice pick by Diego Algarin, and Algarin gets the turnover, and the Rams have a shot.
This ball should not have been thrown, Willie. It was thrown into double coverage, and it looked like he was throwing it to the Rams. It looked like he was a wide receiver out there. But actually, it's like a punt. But, you know, the Panthers would have liked to kept the football, but it is more or less a punt.
And at the tail end of the play, personal foul against the Rams. That is a killer right there. The Rams would have had the football at the 35-yard line. Instead, they'll have it at the 21. At the 36, it's a good shot. At the 21, that's the whole field. What were they thinking? So a personal foul against Millikan with 5:34 to go. Rams need a touchdown. Screen pass, and it is incomplete. Leggett was not in position yet, and Martinez had to get rid of it.
Between them. Pressure on Martinez.
You can hear the camera operators?
Yes.
The only one's talking is Rich.
Well, I'm hearing somebody.
Okay.
2nd down and 10. Clock stopped with 5.5 left. Second down and 10, 28-24 Jordan. The Rams need to go 80 yards. It goes to Eric Wright, and he is met right at the line of scrimmage, and he's going to lose 2 yards. That'll bring up third down and, about 11 or 12.
This has been a fantastic football game, Willie, the kind that we really like to do. We don't get these type of games often. And when we get it, we really relish it because this is a seesaw game. It's been very emotional.
As long as either team has a shot to win in the fourth quarter, I'm a happy camper.
So am I.
When it's over before halftime, those are the games that I'm not real happy with. Martinez decides to run with it. He's still on his feet. He gets the first down. What a run by Alberto Martinez. He picks up 13 yards on 3rd and 12. What a run by Martinez.
And they had their chances. There's one tackle missed, there's 2 tackles missed, and the third tackler finally got him. But he showed a lot of guts, Willie, running for that first down.
Well, he only had 3 yards rushing in the game. He picked a very important time to pick up 13.
And this young man has made some clutch throws, too, so they have to respect the passing ability of him. At least the Panthers do.
Wright was still on his feet until he got hammered by Siafia Aho, Siafia Aho, and he picks up about 4 on the play, does Eric Wright. So that'll bring up 2nd and 6. Up the middle to Wright. Wright's got a first down and gets to the 45-yard line. Pickup of 9 for Wright. He's got 100 yards rushing in the game now.
I don't think you could have asked for a better football game. These guys are in the dirt really scrapping. Now this is a hurry-up offense, no huddle offense at least, by the Rams.
Clock moving, under 4 minutes left in the ball game. Rams trail by 4. He's got a man, but it's going to be picked off. Terrible pass, but there's a flag down. Is it going to be interception? Is it going to be interference on Nichols? Do they have pass interference on Nichols? He did not let Leggett get to the ball. Watch here, look at the push-off. That push-off's the key. It is pass interference against the Rams. There was a push. Of course, we're up in the Jordan press box. Yeah, nobody's happy.
Yeah, and Willie had to provide an explanation for the push because it's a very emotional game, but it was an obvious pushing pass interference.
From the ground camera, you could see the left arm of Nichols push off on Leggett, and that's why the flag was thrown. We could take a look at it again. 103 yards and penalties now. Watch the left arm of Nichols right there. That's how he creates the space and gets the interception. 1st and 10. Football at the 39. The Rams in business, but Wright going nowhere. Then a late diving hit on that play by Tony Taupuli, but no flag thrown, and it's going to be for a loss of a yard on Wright. Well, he had 100 yards. He's got 99 now.
Number 9 for the Panthers, Portley, made that initial shoestring tackle.
Fake, oh, fumble, the Jordan Panthers have it. The big hit provided by John LaVeo. Haven't called his name all game long, and then a flag is thrown in the mess afterwards. But John LaVeo with the huge play, forcing the fumble, the sack, the fumble, the recovery. The Panthers come up big.
Well, the Panthers come up big. It looks like it's going to be a personal foul. Now, it might be offsetting penalties, which is the call you really love, Willie, all the time.
Always exciting, offsetting penalties.
Guillory is, it's probably offsetting penalties. There it is. Yeah, you really like this
against
one, Willie.
Jordan. Unsportsmanlike against Millikan. Let's keep it right here.
Yeah. Well, you know. And so I slug you, Willie, and you slug me, and we both get thrown out of the game, and so it's nothing, it's okay.
Now, the Rams have to use their timeouts and hope for the Panthers to either make a mistake or at least to stop them early in this drive, because if the Panthers can drive into Millikan territory and put the Rams against their own goalpost, it won't matter if the Rams get the football back, because they'll have too far to go with too little time.
First down, Jordan.
The football is just shy of midfield.
The Panthers need a critical first down here.
The Panthers do.
That's what I'm saying. Panthers need a critical first down.
The give to McCoy. McCoy cutting back. There's been nothing for this Panther running game in the last maybe quarter plus couple minutes.
Now they need to hold on to the football. The running backs are running with one arm around the football, and it can easily be stripped from them.
Timeout called by Millikan. A very judicious use of their 3 remaining timeouts, the first of their 3 remaining timeouts, as they will try and stop the Panthers on this drive and conserve as much time as possible. Ed.sports at lbusd.k12.ca.us for those of you in the 21st century and with a computer and with email and with internet access.
I have a carrier pigeon at home and how I communicate to the outside world.
At my day job, I had a gentleman ask me to mail him something, and I asked him, I got through the U.S. Postal Service, you mean? He said,
it still exists?
I was stunned.
Yeah. I mean, what is that?
I had to ask him, so what's the cost of a stamp?
Yeah. Come on.
I haven't sent a letter since college.
Yeah, well, you know,
that was requesting money. 2:43 left in the ball game. The Panthers in position to run out the clock if they can get a first down on this drive, sustain the drive, make Millikan use their timeouts, and then hold on to the football. No turnovers here for the Panthers. Up the middle, McCray gets near a first down, gets stopped just shy of it, and then gets the whole pile to move forward.
Looked like a rugby match to me out there.
You know how they'll give a guy forward progress? In other words, when they move him back, they won't move the football back. Here, when they move the football forward, they won't move the football forward either because the whistle had been blown. But they're going to need a measurement? No. They won't measure, but the Rams will use a timeout.
Well, the Rams need as much time as they possibly can. They need to avoid giving up a first down here. This is a critical game for both teams. If the Rams can win this football game, and it's precarious at this point, they will be 2-0 on top of the Moore League with the Long Beach Poly Jackrabbits. Of course, we're assuming that the Jackrabbits will beat the Wilson Bruins tonight.
I feel like Frank Sinatra at the Grammys. They're trying to get me off stage. But let's keep it right here with 2:26 left in the ball game. The numbers like this for the Rams. Eric Wright, their leading rusher, with 99 yards. Overall, however, they have just, and I'm doing this math quickly as I talk, 153, 157, no, 53 yards rushing is correct. 153 yards rushing and 190 yards in the air for a total of, well, I've got to do 343. And the Jordan Panthers, 160 on the ground for McCray. First down for Wilson, and he's still on his feet. He started at the 43-yard line and finally gets brought down at the 24, a pickup of 19.
Willie, see how many Panthers they were they employed at the point of attack. They had about 4 Panther blockers, and they just gave the ball to the running back, and it was almost like a rugby game. And they won that battle. That was about, how many yards did he pick up on that one,
19.
Willie? 19 yards.
On the ground for the Panthers, 160 by McCray, 89 for Wilson, 94 for McCoy. Quickly, that's 254. I'm guessing 343 for just those 3 guys. So those 3 guys have as much in total offense as McCoy breaks the final tackle, and that's the final straw. McCoy, touchdown, a 23-yard run.
Poor tackling. He should have been tackled with about a 2-yard gain right there, number 2.
Well, that's the straw that broke the Rams back.
And now there's extracurricular activity, but it was poor tackling that was the result of that touchdown. And that was the backbreaker.
We'll check the call. It's a dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike. Jordan, I'm guessing a little taunting was going on. No surprise there, 23-yard run by McCoy. For McCoy, his second touchdown of the game, to go with 2 by McCray. Wilson with a touchdown. It's been a good night tonight for the Panthers. Exciting football game.
It certainly has been. Now, this will put a virtual lock on a playoff spot for the Jordan Panthers. They still have to play the lowly Compton Tar Babes, and then they play the upper echelon, the Lakewood Lancers, who really hasn't won a Moore League game yet, and the Poly Jackrabbits.
Point after, which amounts to basically like a 35-yard field goal, is no good. So the score is now 34-24 in favor of the Panthers. We'll take a break. Back for the final 2 minutes in a moment. Coach Peralta hasn't given up. Coach Peralta hasn't given up, but his team down by 10 with 1:55 remaining. That run right there by McCoy, reminiscent of the 1983 Super Bowl, 4th and 1 for the Redskins against the Dolphins, and John Riggins not only gets the 1 yard, but he goes all the way for the touchdown. Very similar there, just a couple yards needed for the first down. McCoy gets the first down and the touchdown in one fell swoop. Stewart, 15, the 20, 25. Going down just beyond the 25-yard line.
Well, now the Rams need a couple of touchdowns, and they need to put the ball in the air. And, of course, the Jordan Panthers will know that and send 5 or 6 guys at the line of scrimmage. Actually, they'll probably play a prevent defense, which is one of the worst defensive calls that I've ever seen. Usually the Raiders have done that and wind up losing a football game, but you don't want to give up a home run strike.
Well, there's my son, Matthew, in his red sweater. So showing his mother that I told him at halftime to put it on. But that is my 8-year-old son, Matthew. He plays Plaza Little League over in Long Beach. A good student at Cumberley Elementary. And along with his sister, Megan, my pride and joy.
Well, there's another commercial by Willie Padilla.
Slapped away by Portley.
Pushing his family again on us.
Yeah, along with my cousin Lisa Fernandez.
Yeah, Fernandez. Well, you know, I mean, I'm going to tell you.
I'm just pushing everybody on.
Yeah, I have a cousin in Chicago that I'd like to give credit to tonight.
I have a cousin. My cousin's in Chicago.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Giving away an award for ESPN. She's working for ESPN tonight, giving away an award.
Yeah, well, that's the way. Okay, the Padillas are all over the place here. Yeah, please.
1:40 left in the ball game, 2nd down and 10. The Rams don't need just one miracle, they need a couple. Martinez thinks to run, bad idea. Portley again, Johnny on the spot.
Well, Eric Portley has really played a fine football game here today. He has been all over the field tackling, as so has Greg Webb and Tapuli. These guys have played real well. Looks like they're going to go ahead and win this football game by at least 10 and be 2-0 in the Moore League. I think that the game they're going to play against Lakewood later on in the year should be a critical game. It should be a very competitive game against them. I think we have more parity with the exception of Poly High School. Poly has dominated the Moore League for at least 5 years, Willie, and there was only these Jordan Panthers who were the last Moore League team to beat them.
Well, I'll tell you what, their next shot comes next week. This victory for the Jordan Panthers sets up a huge matchup between the Panthers and the Jackrabbits right here at J-Town Stadium.
Oh, it's going to be right here? Yeah,
they'll have a home dirt advantage.
Yeah.
As former head coach and AD Mike Ono once said of his illustrious facility.
Yeah, he was cracking plenty of jokes when we were over at Caprio a couple of weeks ago during their game against Bellflower.
He looked a lot younger.
Yeah, a lot less stress being a head coach. He's an assistant. He does not have to make a lot of decisions.
The Rams, who at one point led 12-0 at the very beginning, find themselves now trailing by 10. Had opportunity to win as Martinez nearly goes down under the heavy rush, gets a couple blocks, still on his feet, trying to get to the corner and won't.
Well, for the Rams, Willie, all is not lost. They've only lost one more league game, but they still have to play the Lakewood Lancers and the Long Beach Poly Jackrabbits and the Wilson Bruins. So the road is tough for them, even though they only have one loss after week 2 of the Moore League season.
4th down and 8. Rams go for it. Pass complete, but not enough yardage as a pickup of 3 on the play, but it is 1st down for the Panthers with 48 seconds left, and this one's going to be over here in a short bit as Jordan did a great job in rallying early, kept their heads about them as the Rams rallied, and did a good job not to shoot themselves in the foot as they seem to be doing, giving the Rams opportunity after opportunity to get back in this football game. But finally they prevailed.
And they'll go to 6-1 on the season, and more importantly, 2-0 in the Moore League. And it'll be a very, very fine start for the Jordan Panthers. Always a tough team. Tonight they proved it. A measure of respect they will get.
Smith takes a knee and flags go down everywhere. It's like, come on, fellas, there's 45 seconds left. And what have we got? Illegal procedure declined. Second down coming up. So a loss of 4 on the play or 3 of the play, but it's not going to matter.
We will be at Long Beach Poly on next week to bring you the Poly Wilson girls volleyball game, which will probably be for the will definitely be for the Moore League championship.
Well, so will that Jordan Poly football game, but we'll be in the volleyball game.
We try to bring you all the more important games here.
But I know where my bread's buttered, and I'm all for it. So.
You're all for it, huh?
That's right.
Well, you're still brown-nosing.
Well,
anyway.
I think Poly, you know, the race in the Moore League is for second place.
It's no question about it. We see a dejected Millikan.
Not a shot at the Jordan program, and honestly, if anyone has a shot, it is the Jordan Panthers, because they're the only team with the kind of speed to combat Poly's team speed. Poly's team speed is just tremendous, as we saw last week against Lakewood.
Yeah, that's about it.
But year in and year out, the race is for second place in the Moore League, and I don't think this year's going to be any different. But when we see you, not next week, but in a couple weeks, we'll see how either correct or incorrect I am. Well, Errol, it was a fun football game. What do you think?
Well, I think it was really one of the best football games we have had here in a long time. The Panthers prevail. They have a tremendous amount of team speed, and they will next week you'll see them against the Long Beach Poly Jackrabbits, who just have some animals on defense. Those guys are really, really good. Here are some highlights here of the earlier in the game, and the 34-24 win by the Jordan Panthers.
Well, this is a fellow that had a tough ball game, as their punter Musa Mabuk was in trouble all game long. He was the quarry. Watch here as I believe Dante Vaughn is going to come into your picture and block it. And that was just the first of 2 that he had blocked. But the Panthers would be resilient, as you see the run by Smith. The option, very fortuitous, getting it off at the last second. Big run by McCoy here, as McCoy, I believe, scampers for first down yardage there, and that would set up a later touchdown run by McCoy. But the Jordan Panthers were just too much, as they showed a lot of offensive weapons. Their offense was impressive. This was an offensive pass interference, but still, it looked like a great grab by Manuel Martinez. Rushing-wise, Grant McCray, 160 yards. James Wilson running for a touchdown there. He had 89 yards on 9 carries. And Jerron McCoy, 117 yards on 11 carries. The Rams, their passing game really doing well, as saw the pass completed there by Roberto Martinez. But it was an exciting ball game that the Jordan Panthers prevailed by a final of 34-24. My name's Willie Padilla for Errol Parker and the rest of our Ed Dodd Sports crew. Thank you very much for joining us. For our producer director, Ray Sharp, thank you for joining us. And as we're preparing to sign off, remember that in Long Beach Unified School District, we are working to raise standards in dress, behavior, and achievement. And stay tuned to Ed.TV, the only place to catch all the LBUSD news, sports, and information, and the only place beyond the spot.